Hey, welcome to Dark Skies 2078. It's a pickup game. I didn't put it in promotions. I'll get around to it probably. Who knows, maybe. Um, yeah, this one is entitled The Boys Are Back. Again, I know, a problematic title, but it'll make sense in a bit, promise. Um, that said, the group is meeting on the Saturday of the week that we've been messing around with it towards the end of January, which is either the 28th or the 29th. Again, I don't know for certain at this moment. I'll check my calendar here in a second. Day's number is not terribly important. The events are what are important. Later in the afternoon, a meeting has been set through specific channels to coordinate a meet between a member of the mayor's office, um, that mayor being Mayor Jefferson Perales, um, but the representative, a known member of our group back from 2077, that will be making their first appearance here in 78, as we need more movers and shakers, always, always. And she should go ahead and introduce yourself and then tell us a little bit about your character.
Sure. My name is Sipakli. I think I know pretty much everybody here. And I'm playing Alex. Alex is uh, kind of a late 20s, kind of multiracial, kind of biracial woman, with dark hair. She's very short. Um, She doesn't look super like modded out. I mean, she doesn't look like a um cyber tech junkie or anything. Um she seems to be kind of muted in terms of the styles that you typically see among punks in Night City. But I guess for the viewers at home, over the last couple of over the past year, she has adapted a little bit more to life in Night City and kind of being a part of it, and the look kind of looks like that a little bit more vibrant, rather than the sort of ultra professional dry style that she had before, as she had spent some time away from the city. Now she's been here for a while, and she's got I guess where are we right now, John?
So you'll be meeting at an establishment called K and Bob Kebabs. K and Bob Kebabs has been around. Kebabs, however you want to pronounce it. I'm terrible at pronunciations. But it is a local restaurant eatery that has been around since the time of the Red, and it is located on campus. The university's campus has definitely changed over the last few decades. Again, something you wouldn't care about because you went to um, a vaunted, university in Mexico.
Right.
Um, but this location, it's like very campus oriented. It's like a lot of
Okay.
kids in kind of like business suits because most kids who are in U are kind of sanctioned off. The university is actually partitioned into different corporations, so they're not actually being trained like general studies or anything like that. It's more these are the classes we want you to take so you can get in on the ground floor as an intern.
Hmm, okay.
Um,
And I'm looking for Crown.
Okay. Well, Crown will be with you. Crown would probably
Okay.
have been hired back at the main office. Now, Crown, go ahead and describe your character real quick for me, and then we'll have a discussion between Alex and Crown. That's kind of like you're being hired by Central Office. You're not being hired by Alex direct. So your information was given to central office by Alex via Letty, but you're being hired by the government in this instance. So, yeah, tell us about
Gross.
Crown.
So Crown, very Bowery. There's not many instances where he'll take off his helmet, especially when he's on the job. But when he does take off his helmet, you'll see that he's like a darker complexion, and all throughout his face is Maori tattoos. And then also he's also not very kitted out when it comes to cyberware or cybernetics. He's what was the thing that you called the Black Hand method?
Yeah, the Black Hand method.
So he's staying very human-y. And then he also carries like 2 or 3 weapons at a time. That's it.
Yeah. So, again, the Black Hand method is probably not something that Alex knows about or concerns herself with, but just for the viewers at home, Morgan Blackhand, famed solo Night City, very little cyberware, flesh over meat, flesh over chrome was the mentality there. Much more about kind of training, practice, precision in action versus reliance on cybernetics. Okay. That said, you two are on your way via government AV. Now, you said yuck about government. Again, I agree. In a lot of regards, I agree. In Cyberpunk, in a lot of regards, I agree. Like, it is a very difficult subject matter, for sure. But I just want to make sure that you, as a player, and also as a Night City resident, understand what city government means versus like the NUSA, national government, etc. So Night City is a free state. It's actually a free city. It kind of is independent of all kind of outside national situations, and is run by a council and a mayor's office that specifically focus on the financial, economic independence of Night City over all else. About 7 years ago in Night City, there was an event known as the Unification War that happened when the NUSA wanted to bring Night City and other free states back into the United States and basically reconglomerate and kind of recreate a federal government overall. It failed miserably because Night City called on Arasaka, an outside Zaibatsu or mega corporation, to come in and help defend Night City. And since Arasaka had roots in Night City prior to the Night City Holocaust of 2023, where a nuclear bomb was detonated in the center of the city by Johnny Silverhand, and they were basically booted out of the country because of jingoistic mentalities on the part of the NUSA, which caused the NUSA to get kicked out of Night City because fuck racism. The situation, the climate at hand, Night City mayoral office is not looked upon as like a big bad evil. It's basically looked at as like a guy who was hired from like, you know, the city to keep an eye out for the little guy against corporations. It's like some people believe
the government is supposed to be.
Yeah, exactly, right. And in a lot of regards, the last office wasn't that, but because of its connection to corporations, Night City is still independent. Because he was tied to Arasaka, that's why Night City is allowed to like remain. So like obviously a lot of people are like more for the NUSA after the Unification War. Most of them live in Santo Domingo. A lot of folks are kind of like, you know, less worried about the situation because of the good maneuvering by the government of Night City. So it just depends on what your outlook would be, really, and how you would kind of view that specifically.
So it's not too bad.
That's a fair assessment for a solo like you to have. I concur. I mean, again, you're like, okay, they're willing to do what needs to be done when it needs to be done. Just like me. That's what especially if you're getting paid taxes by the people, you should do that. So yeah, you two are on your way. Are you wanting to do any chatting, or do you want to kind of wait until others are present?
Before I say anything, I want to in my Chiron, kind of review any data I might have gotten from, from my office about Crown.
Okay. So, you would be aware of Crown's bodyguard detail for Dolly Glass, a pop icon that was a part of Biotechnica's attempt to enter into the musical media market. This is where Letty comes into play. Letty was the manager for Dolly Glass, and also the one that was in charge of Crown's position therein. After Dolly Glass left the the corporate side of things and kind of disappeared into the streets, from what you can tell, Crown has been doing work on the street level. And what you've been able to pick up is that more recently his jobs have been up in the north side. Like in the last week or so, he has been kind of clearly noted in the north side based on NCPD reports and the like.
North side is like what? Like the
See where the big Watson logo is?
Watson.
And
Yeah,
like
okay.
a bunch of other people happen to be chilling. In fact, one of the people who's in this game, I'll go ahead and delete these tokens. Messy. John is messy. But yeah, the north side is basically everything kind of
Watson.
north of H11 and that highway that's kind of in between H11 and Trauma.
Cool. Okay, so I mean, I think I would try to be friendly, but not too friendly, because I'm kind of scared of this like super tall guy, right, with like weapons. Crown.
Good day.
Oh, I didn't expect that voice.
No one
well,
ever does.
it's I'm glad that you took on this job. We never know what to expect around here.
Yeah, that's why most people hire me, to help protect them or kill whoever's in their way. I'll do it.
I love that. Okay, well, I guess let's go meet up with the others and see what. Hopefully, you don't have to kill anybody, or maybe hopefully you do, if that's what you like.
We'll see. You don't happen to have any explosive on you, do you?
I'm fresh out.
The two worlds colliding is very funny for me. Hatter, you would be given the information in kind of a different venue. Alex would have probably had a conversation with you already, and if we want to kind of re-engage that, that's absolutely fine. The main thrust of that conversation would be, I'm looking to do a bit of work with you as a fixer, someone I've been given contact information for, and I need to basically do surveillance on this location. Now, the location would be important to you, Hatter. If you read the in-character posts, we had a post about Mortician, Maelstrom, cultist of the Veil, / kind of eccentric individual amongst that gang, who was recently involved in quite a bit of arson. He would have basically relayed to you that this place is of interest to him, and he wants to check it out, but isn't currently ready to kind of like pay you to do that. But then this other individual, Alex, is asking about it as well. Crew-wise, I don't see why Rem wouldn't be on your roster, like, of people to kind of get in on this, especially since you're wanting to take info back to Mortician and Remza Media. And then
also, I have seen her murder multiple people, which is like usually a good mark in my book. Like,
yes. A woman who's willing to jump on the top of a car going 65 miles per hour across the sands with her claws out.
Rip and tear, rip and tear.
Yeah.
Is definitely hireable. But I will say that Vix is a little of a situation where it's more of a, I called to try and get a hold of Gem, but I got Vix. And you have seen Vix in character. because she was the one who drove Jem away and also to the Bowling Hill engagement.
Okay.
So you've seen Vix before. So let's go ahead and go through character descriptions. Hatter, go ahead and tell us about your character, and I'll post pick.
Yeah. My guy's Hatter. He's a fixer mostly for the Maelstrom, but he's been getting contracted out for multiple other groups. His big thing is that he isn't as kitted out as a lot of the Maelstroms. That's hopefully going to be fixed at some point. His suit jacket is pretty tattered, but like kept. It looks as if I'm just taking random piece of fabric to make a suit jacket to look presentable as a fixer. But it's still very much shown that it's for a gang, and it's not for really one of the proper gangs like the Valentinos or something of that nature that have a bit of stand-up with everyone. Fully cybernetic from like the knees down that you can see. You can guess from there up. Not really a fighter. Not great at fighting. Smooth talker, and hopefully gets to keep living. And for some odd reason, keeps hiring Crown every time.
Well, you're not hiring Crown. Alex.
Oh, true. He keeps showing up, and I feed him weapons, and it works every time.
It's a great relationship. He will be overjoyed to see you. He's like, well, you made a good choice
Crown
in
is
this one.
good at his goddamn job. That's
He
why.
is reliable. That is for certain. He's not pulling anything out of bottles or anything crazy. But so, a note on Hatter, though. If memory serves, Hatter is not exactly the tallest individual either, right?
No.
So it may be the case that Alex and Hatter are kind of like eye to eye. Like they're both, I think, in the 5 mid range. So
Yeah, 5'7"
yeah.
Very, very short. Nothing really spectacular that stands out about him, apart from the fact that he's a little more chromed out. And his big thing is, if you work with him, not in this contract of sorts, he would respect it, as any Maelstromer would, to make sure your chrome goes to a good cause if you don't make it through the mission. That's the only thing I'll say.
Aw.
He just makes sure it goes to a good cause, which is why it's surprising Crown keeps tagging along, because
There's
he's
nothing-
chromeless.
Just meat. I can't
Yeah,
do
nothing to
shit with
sell.
that.
I just have to bury him properly. That's
Right.
about it, really.
You know, maybe a
Just
liver.
throw him in a barrel and set him on fire. It'll be fine.
Kidney's got a
That's
pretty
the nice
decent dollar
anyway.
value, actually. And then, Rem, since you've been mentioned a couple times, let's go ahead and do you next.
She is a kind of adrenaline junkie. Does a lot of working out so that she can get her heart rate up really high for brain dances. She mostly does a lot of what are they called? Like X brain dances?
XPDs, yeah.
XBDs, but they're not like the sexy kind. They're the I'm gonna show you what it's like to rip a heart out
Or get my leg cut off.
or get my leg cut off.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
have you wanted to know what it feels like and look like and all that to get your leg cut off? You can learn.
Yeah.
Now you can do it.
500 eddies, get the XPD, pop it in. Do it on your own wreath, though. Don't have someone else bug you, okay?
Yeah.
Rules of the street. And then next on the docket, Magpie, go ahead and tell us about Vix.
So Vix is quite obviously a member of the Mox. She is like one of 6 that live in the same apartment. So like any at 5, that's right, and then they have a random friend. Got it. And then so any of those people, she's typically the go-to ride. But she has cyber legs. She's pretty kitted out. Anyone who's worked with her knows that she has a monocord? Monoware. And then she is big on small sidearms, so
Yeah, and she's got a awesome fucking motorcycle. It is a
Yes.
A
It
Yaiba
is.
Kusanagi, which is like Akira. Like, think of that. But hers has, instead of like the normal seating, it kind of has like a more kind of chopper seat because it was a stolen Tiger Claws bike.
yeah, bitches!
They
Moxon,
were using it.
Well, Mox and Tiger Claws don't like each other. If you
Not
don't know
after I was done with the rider. No, they weren't using it.
yeah,
See,
definitely.
they weren't using it.
Yeah, those two gangs are very much turf
And it's so
war.
much prettier now.
Agreed. Yeah, paint job is not as gaudy. They use a lot of. It's not that bad actually. I kind of like the look of it, just looking at it now. But anyway, that said, there was one other person that you contacted that was outside of Hatter because you are also looking to do a bit of outreach. As a member of the Glen, and understanding that the Valentinos contacts in the Glen, Wellspring, Corpo Plaza is well known. Operating in this area, even with government kind of like, credo, isn't going to be like super cool, especially if you're bringing in a person who looks like they're a member of the Maelstrom, and a person who looks like they're a member of the Mox, and a person who looks like they're, I don't know, psychotic. Like, what do we call Rem? Like, you're just an edge runner? Regardless, she's also here. So it definitely looks like you're kind of encroaching. So obviously a smart move in this regard would be to contact the locals. You would have been given Gonzo's information, and Gonzo does roll with a crew, and we'll discuss them in a moment. But first, Dan, go ahead and tell us about Gonzo.
So you would probably know Gonzo if you're kind of with the government. He has a bit of a rap sheet from his youth, just gang banging, drug use, selling drugs, not murder that have been linked to him, but assault, those sorts of things. He was born in the Valentinos, and he intends to die in Valentinos. Does have a crew. He's not lost very many of them. He kind of goes through the motions with the swagger of somebody that is confident in their capabilities to either talk his way out of something or shoot his way out. He would basically have this big, huge fucking pistol on his hip, and he's got another sidearm on his back and two machetes across his abdomen, as you see there. You would obviously look at his eyes and you would see that he's got cyberware implant. Through the detail of his tattoos and iconography, you would be able to see maybe there's some type of augmentation under his flesh. If you watch him a whole lot, you'll notice that he gets bored pretty quickly and takes little hits every once in a while of what you assume is cocaine, but it could be some other designer drugs. He tends to be really well known throughout the Glen. Some he would hope would consider him a saint of the streets. Has a good heart.
Question mark?
As far as your average street punk would think. That's Johnson.
I'm sure his mom thinks he has a good heart.
Oh
If-
yeah.
If you're on his good side, absolutely an absolute like beautiful person to have around, reliable as fuck. But you get on his bad
He's only
side.
lost. I think he's lost like one or two people in his crew.
One died, one left because that person died. So you didn't technically
Yeah.
lose the second one, but yeah.
He lost them. So
Fair enough. So the people that he has, we'll start with the oldest of the crew first. There's Clerigo, who is fancies himself a priest, but is kind of like middle-aged, very focused on the familial aspects of the Valentinos and the religious aspects of the Valentinos. He has his own car, which he brings to the table, and he is very reliable in a skirmish, a scuffle. Definitely one of the harder bodies on his crew. Then there's Money, Emilio Sanchez. He's got a gold-plated, beautiful, old-style like sedan. He is very much about the job, being about the cash. He's very much about the face. He's very much about the look and the vibe of the Valentinos. He is a bit of a person who kind of deals more with like the pomp of being a ganger. It's more about the show of circumstance versus like the actual actions. He's usually seen as a driver for the crew though. Then there are his two newer individuals because he lost his two last ones. There's Menecia, who is a young up-and-comer. She is kind of a bit mysterious compared to everyone else. She doesn't really put a lot of herself on the table, but some people think that she might be related to Empress, who is kind of like the queen bee of Mega Building H3. She's like a big deal in the Valentinos. Valentinos kind of seem like a masculine type gang, but they're very like family oriented. So a lot of the ruling parties of the Valentinos, especially in modernity, are females. Empress being one of them, and then the main one is Zoe, who is like the big top dog for the Valentinos. But yeah, some people think that Manastia might be related to one of those leaders. And then, not exactly a born and bred Valentino, but welcome nonetheless. This is Summer. She and her boyfriend were trying to escape out of Night City after Arasaka back in 76 were trying to kill them over a jacket they had. A jacket that belonged to one David Martinez from Edge Runner crew fame. That jacket was given eventually to Falco by a very cool Edge Runner crew. But her boyfriend died. The jacket she got from him, the yellow jacket she's wearing in that picture, was something he gave to her so they'd have matching jackets. That did end up being the case. She was a part of the Steel Vaqueros, which is a nomad pack that were kind of affiliated with the Valentinos but broke away. And she basically decided, fuck all that running, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to go back into the city and kind of link back up with the family. And so that's what she's doing here with her kind of association with Gonzo and the crew. But this is basically the mass of people that end up at Kay and Bob's Kebabs. Haha, I get the pun now. And I would say, basically, I'm giving the table over to you, Sapakli, to kind of run it how you want to run it. If you want to talk to Hatter and his crew first, or if you want to talk to Gonzo and his crew first, whichever one you want to have arrive first, that's up to you.
Okay. One is I didn't get a good description of Liz's character.
She's a adrenaline junkie. She's kind of wearing like kind of like a runner's fit and like a sweater because it's winter time. She is taller than the picture makes her look. I think she was the first one.
I don't see a picture of her anywhere.
Oh, I thought I posted it. Did I not?
Yeah, you did.
Okay, hold on. I got you.
It was in there.
It might have been. It might have been skipped through because again, your description wasn't terribly long. But yeah, she's basically like, I think she's taller than the picture makes her look. She was the first one I drew, so scaling was kind of fucked. And her head's also really big. In the doodle, I don't know why I got a little anime with it.
She's also like very, like meant to be like very ripped because she's like
she is
always
like,
working out.
She is like.
Think like lean beef patty though. I should have sent you that image. That's my
fair.
fault.
I'll put some muscle. I'll
I'll
draw some abs on it. I'll do some abs on it with Photoshop. Not like I've done pictures like that with
Liz, what is it with you and abs?
That's a great question.
It's not just abs. Look at her overall shape.
I'm gonna press it to you though. Why?
Does she look like Goldradier?
No.
Where is this image you guys are talking about?
She kind of reminds me of Velma.
I just hit show to players. So whatever image you've got up right
now. Oh, nothing's showing. I need to refresh this, I think.
Hold on. Wild.
The sweater makes me think of Velma.
I sent you a GIF, Shisho.
She does kind of have a Velma vibe to her. I agree. Yeah.
Well, I think for some reason, I don't think I have access to it.
You should. You're all players. But just to kind of... Oh, I see what's wrong. You're not in here.
Are they in
You're not in here.
2077?
You're 2077. Hold on.
Am I in the wrong... Oh, yeah. I'm in the wrong place.
It's okay. You're behind. It's fine. Hold on.
Damn.
We'll get this fixed.
It's like... I was in that map, like... I'm in here. I'm early. Like,
why isn't it snapping?
Hanging out. Nothing's happening.
No worries. It's fine. I didn't even
realize.
Everyone's
looking at pictures.
I didn't even realize. I am such a goober. There we go. There we go. There's the link. And I will... Now that's weird. That is so weird.
It's not that weird. I just haven't been on. You know,
No,
I haven't
I
played in a
swore
while.
I swear I gave you control of your character sheet earlier today, but I must have dreamed that. So
Oh.
here's your character sheet, and then we'll go through it real quick. Sorry. Oh, here we go.
He's broken.
This is Gonzo, who you've seen before.
Uh,
This is Rem.
cool.
This is Hatter.
Gary.
Kind of hot though. This is Crown. First name Kai. Last name Crown, but also Handle. Who the fuck I'm in? Oh, Vix. This is Vix.
Gary.
Also kind of hot though.
Really?
Jeez Louise.
I said
think
you're
that's
Still
it.
takes Gary. She fucking loves that.
Sorry, hold on. Clerigo. Money.
Okay.
Manacea.
Kind of hot though.
Alright, okay, you got favorites and Summer. Cool. Okay, so
Thank you.
who would you like to do first?
Let's see.
Bazinga.
I think I want to talk to Hatter.
Okay.
Who is Hatter with?
Hatter's going to be rolling in with Vix, Rem.
Cool.
Okay.
The three scariest ones.
The three scary ones first, and then the
You haven't met Gonzo.
the super hot Latino is next. Yes. I
Gonzo's hot, not scary.
Yeah.
Right.
Terrifying in person.
So he's got a little bit of machismo. Whatever. Fuck it. He's doing coke all the time. No big deal.
Yeah.
He could probably like rip most people's heads off here. So what?
That's hot.
Hatter, you show up. It's a very simple establishment. It is got a bit more like surface area than most restaurants you've been in, but it is right across the way from an establishment called Fourth Wall, which seems to get more business. And when I say business, I mean like business people and like teachers and shit. This place has like a couple of kids here and there, and then you would see the person you're here to meet, and you'd also see that Crown is also here already with the person you're here to meet.
Well, I would happily walk in and see who I was supposed to be talking to and walk over to them. And notice Crown there because it's very hard to miss. I would walk up and before addressing the person I'm here for, I would look at Crown and say, I have at least one more rocket launcher. And then I would turn and extend my hand out to introduce myself as Hatter.
Hi. Yeah, I'm Alex. Good to meet you. Glad that Crown was able to pull you in. Right? That Crown, you set this up?
Yeah.
Yeah, he slowly but surely became one of my main people, to say the least. Not enough chrome on him. We're hoping to fix that someday if I can convince him. But overall, pretty handy person. Didn't usually he's on pretty combat heavy details. So, what are we doing? What's the plan?
Well, I think the problem is we don't know exactly what to expect here. There's some signals, so that there's a signal that is worrying the big shots down at City Hall. And we need to figure out what it is and take care of the problem. Hababas is the name of the restaurant, or is that something else?
So Hababas is a name you wouldn't know yet. Hababas would
Okay.
be a name that Hatter would know because
Cool.
the details of what Mortician found would have basically been relayed to you for the job that he wants to put you on, but just
Mhm.
hasn't fundraised yet for.
Okay. So, well, you need to figure out what's going on, deal with it. I have an inkling we may need to kind of get into the old city to deal with whatever issue will come up. And according to Crown, you're pretty knowledgeable in LinkedIn, so I think we have some more muscle coming to support us as well. Not that I don't know that. I mean, do you arrive with Vix and with Rem?
Oh yeah, they would be on my tail
I
at a
mean,
minimum.
not that we need it. And Alex would go like this, pointing at the gals.
Yeah, she just kind of peek around and grin and be like, yeah.
Rem just poses.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably got earbuds
Yes.
in, listening to us cracks, not even paying attention to you people.
I've been lately rolling around with much more muscle than normal, but grown into a bit of a working relationship with this group. So, happy to help, and as always, I have acquired a vehicle as of recently, and out of character learned I'm one of the better drivers, which is wild. And so if we need transportation, I can also help in assistance with that. I don't know how you get around the city. Public transport doesn't do well for Maelstrom.
Public transport is gross. I have a bike.
I mean, I take public transport when I'm going to the office, but on a gig like this, usually the city will provide transport. So yeah, I mean, I'd be grateful for a ride as soon as we decide, as soon as we lock down where we're going, and as soon as our Valentino's group arrives.
Quick note.
Under my breath, I would just say, you won't be happy when you see the vehicle. But
a quick note: you chose this location because, again, you flew here in AV. You chose this location because it's a decent enough place to meet, not overpopulated, but it's also like a block away from where you want to go.
Okay, redact.
Oh, sweet,
Yeah,
sweet.
we're walking distance from what we need to check out, so I
Awesome.
don't think we'll need to drive. But if we need to hightail it out of there, it's good to know you've got an escape vehicle.
And I would say that's probably about the time you see two very fine-looking automobiles kind of pass by, park nearby. Crew of Valentinos get out and kind of waltz on over to the place. Gonzo, do you want to have anybody hold back and you just go in solo, or are you bringing the whole kit and caboodle in?
How big is the establishment?
It's pretty big. Yeah, it's one of the more sizable locations when it comes to restaurants that you probably
They got
been
good
to.
food?
You've probably never been here. You mostly hang in like the Glen proper, and this is like the university side. But kebabs are kebabs, man. Like,
We're all coming in.
all right. Yeah, you see a crew of Valentinos walk in like they own the place. You see a couple of college kids kind of like fucking freak out, like, holy shit, what the fuck? Like, this is real business. And like some of them kind of skirt out too. And then they kind of walk over to the counter and place their order. Gonzo, you kind of look over to the corner. You see Hatter, who you know. You see Crown, who you know. You see Rem, who you know. You don't recognize Vix, but she definitely kind of has like a Mox vibe. And right now, you're pretty sure you're chill with the Mox. No scuffles there. Your current beef is obviously with 6th Street.
Yeah.
But yeah, you want to have them order you something and you go talk to these people?
While I'm ordering food, I open up my Chiron, start sifting through Zoe's messages, and look up for a picture of Alex.
Sure. Yeah, easy.
Look at her picture.
You would see, Undersecretary Alex's pictures. Looks like most of them are kind of like stills from speeches that were being given on like kind of like C-SPAN-esque channels, like N54.3 or some bullshit, where she was basically talking about, measures or whatever. Again, it's a lot of jargon, but
Right.
She seems to be.
What
doing
about
the-
action for the people?
Well, it seems like she's doing the work on screen, right?
Okay.
Like, obviously,
Okay.
like not all action is punching, kicking, karate.
Right.
So it definitely looks like she's out there putting her face on the line. So
Okay, fair. I'll just get my kebabs. I'll take a bite of it, just looking straight at Alex. Tipping it. What time are we leaving? He'll yell across the establishment.
Love
You know,
it.
I thought it was gonna be hot. It wasn't.
Not.
It wasn't. So, I guess, yeah. I mean, we can leave now. As soon as you're done eating.
Very crudely, he's picking his gold teeth with the kebab stick.
Okay.
You know, you didn't fucking fail me though. Like,
Yeah.
you nailed the ganger every time.
Dude.
Trying.
Aw. So
It's not-
your who are your people here?
They go
That's
through-
money
Go ahead.
right there. Money's just chowing down on food. I mean, he probably has like some on his face. Looks like he hadn't eaten in a while.
He looks up. He kind of does one of these, and then like is back into it. Like money is definitely hungry.
Manny. Mencelia.
To give you a nod
I
of the
call her
gold hand.
Manny. Summer, the big one.
Okay.
And there's Cesar. Clarigo.
Kind of gives you like a you know, just like a nice Catholic bow.
He tries to keep us in line.
Never fucking
Oh,
works.
well,
He starts
you know,
sucking on his teeth.
uh,
Very
Oh.
crudely. Gross.
I guess the city thanks you all for your service. So let's get out of here and get to work.
So you're kind of walking through Night City, and again, it's kind of like a more university located.
Out of character, I am gonna eat, so I'm gonna
Oh,
turn
for
my
sure,
back
for sure,
there.
for sure. I think your whole crew is probably walking kebab.
I demand like live action
Live action,
RPG,
actual
real
sound.
eating. Oh my god, it went too far.
It went too far. You see, you keep doing this. You keep on going, I like this. And then he's like, I'm going to go all the way with it. And then she's just like, I'm actually repulsed.
It's actually not good.
I lied.
Be careful what you wish for. Dan over
I would like to change
my
my
wish.
opinion.
As we understand, wishes.
Can
have
I add
consequences.
another clause to this wish?
So it's canon. Mad Hatter does give Crown that rocket launcher.
Yeah, if I know he's on a job, I'm bringing at least one. I'll pay for it every
Sure.
time.
Sure. There is a rocket launcher in the van, we will say. Now,
Yes.
the van can be relocated, as can the bike, and you can kind of maneuver closer to the location you're going to. The location you're going to is a place called Fourth Wall, which I mentioned being not too far away. Fourth Wall is like a restaurant / kind of beady lounge. It's a pretty chill place, but it's mostly for kind of like suits. The prices on the food menu are too high for college types. You know, it's definitely something that's a little bit more bougie. Now, the location that you've been given is kind of around the back of Fourth Wall in an alleyway behind it and in between it and like a kind of mall location. Again, a lot of these mall shops kind of pop up all across Night City. Basically, it's an easy way to kind of fill out the bottom floors of a business, like tower, you know, or mega structure. But in this instance, alleyway. I tried to get a photo of the exact location in Night City earlier today, but my computer crashed. So apparently the location was too strong. But imagine the building above you, and when I say above you, I mean like the building kind of extends out from the curtain wall and connects to other buildings above you. And then there's a bunch of red lights throughout this alleyway. And you can see that there are two silhouettes kind of standing inside of the alleyway. And you can see like a wafting bit of smoke in the area. But they are nothing more than like just harsh silhouettes, a bunch of kind of smoke like wafting through the space, and just like a cluttered, kind of fucking messy alleyway that kind of goes through. Rain from
oh my god,
earlier.
my immersion.
Go ahead.
I said, oh my god, my immersion.
there's like rain kind of like stuck in this place, not really like able to dry with no sunlight, and not really to kind of able to escape with no sewer grates or whatnot. So it's just a kind of dank, red, smoky alleyway. You head on back.
Well, I was about to say, well, I'm not going first, so
Yeah, that's. I'm really looking for a marching order.
yeah. I feel like it has to be Gonzo and his group first, right? I'm not crazy to say that, Dan.
I'm not going in. Like, I'm not putting my people in first.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Sorry.
Oh
I
my
can
god,
go
you fucking
like that.
losers. I'll go first.
Sounds
First.
great.
Soft rubber caps of her cybernetic feet kind of make for a slightly stuffier kind of maneuvering into the space. And Vix, if you want to move in quietly, you can. But you can see
Yeah.
that the two people ahead, based on your kind of back and forth, have already kind of registered that you're present. And I would like for you to make a local expert Night City roll. And that's under education down towards the bottom there. You should have it as listed as local expert Night City, comma Watson, but Watson is just a specialization. What'd you get?
19.
Great. So the two people you see ahead of you have very clear gang markers that you would basically be able to distinguish. It appears that they are members of the Voodoo Boys. The Voodoo Boys are a gang that operate inside of Pacifica. Does the name of the episode make sense yet?
Yes.
Wow.
Two of them.
Mhm.
One girl, one guy, just kind of sitting there. Looks like they're kind of talking in Haitian, and kind of just smoking cigarettes. And they'll acknowledge you, but they don't really kind of like run off or do anything crazy. It just looks like they're chilling, vibing here in this alleyway.
Cool.
Okay. If you
I
just
let them vibe.
if you just approach like it's no big thing, Alex, you would note that they are standing very close to the address of the location you're going to. Basically, you're going into a back room to Fourth Wall that is sectioned away from Fourth Wall, like it's a separate property, but it's in the same building. And it's basically supposed to be closed off, and there are supposed to be markers that delineate that this is a hazardous location due to its access to sewer access. So when you see the door, you would see that the danger warning signs are tagged, and it looks like it's a series of tags that have basically been overridden one after the other. You can see kind of traces of Valentino marker, but the most current and fresh kind of tag on the door appears to be the Voodoo Boy skulls.
Which, this is like well outside of their territory, right?
Oh yeah.
Whose territory is this typically? Would I know? Or-
Valentino's.
Hmm.
More specifically,
Oh.
the Joe Boys, but yeah, the Valentinos.
Yeah, Alex would kind of tilt her head at Gonzo. Hey, your rival.
Sorry, I just kind of finished eating.
Okay, don't worry.
He throws the stick aside, looks over at you.
Let's turn this back.
Looks like the Voodoo Boys are tagging your turf.
What kind of, like, literally, as you were saying, take spray paint out of this, I don't know,
When
pocket.
looking at them, you're going to notice some things that they don't notice, but I also want to make you roll a local expert roll as well.
Yeah, sure. Can I utilize human perception at all?
No. You're looking for specifically knowledge in your mind about...
Oh,
Gang
these
relations.
individuals. I got
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Let me see. It's in education.
Can I cut in real
Mr.
quick
Night
while this is
City.
Fire away.
happening? I would say, Crown, please say close by.
Okay, he's already on it. He's sort of like taking the position in front of you. Once he saw the spray can kind of come out, he was like, "Oh, okay."
So, Gonzo, with that roll, you would know two things. It's a DV9 for you because of your... it should say Night City, comma, the Glen, but no big deal. It's fine. The main thing that you note here, two things. First off, they are not dressed in, like, war attire. They are not, like... This is not a situation where they're, like, holding the front or ready to fight. These are basically gangers who are kind of like low tier. So like if you wish to kind of bully them or muscle them out, you're probably going to win that fight. No problems.
Yeah.
But you would notice they also appear to be dressed as if they are working. Like they work at an establishment nearby. The second thing you would note is gang agreement is if a gang operates and works in a location, they are allowed to do so as long as they are paying tribute to the Valentinos, which means that gang tag being tagged over by them means that they must be paying tribute because those are checked. And so these voodoo boys are here on loan. And again, out of character, we would know. The voodoo boys pretty much got blistered out during the summer because fucking V and the psychopathy of Johnny Silverhand. So again, you know that they've been scattered to the winds, and them being here is not like...
Okay,
It's
so
not
I don't
like-
need to tag over this and like fucking spit on their shoes.
If you want to be a dick to them,
I
you
don't
can, but based on what you're looking at, it looks like they're
Or
already
if they're paying their taxes and their dues,
Yeah.
that's fine.
They worked
I'm
nearby. This is what they're doing.
Okay. Hey,
Yeah.
I'm gonna need to look in here.
Kind of gestures like this. Not our place.
What's your name?
My name is NPC Part 1. I didn't think you were going to talk to me.
Sick,
Wow.
gonna
sick
keep it
handle,
that
bro.
way.
She says, the girl will say, we stay here sometimes. We work around. We got 3 jobs. Well, I got 3 jobs. You got, what, 2 or 3? And the guy's like, I lost count. And then she'll say, yeah, we're just doing our best to make our money. You got any work that's not fucking bullshit?
How busy are you?
I mean, working these fucking real jobs, pretty busy.
Yeah.
But we'll drop it all for like some actual work.
What do you know of G?
Gee, you talking like Netrunner shit?
Yeah.
That's why you're coming in?
Do they seem at all like intimidated or worried?
They seem a bit kind of skittish, and like the way she said, so that's why you're coming in, makes it sound like she might know something.
Okay. I'm gonna pull my gun.
She kind of like raised her
Oh.
hands up, and the guy kind of, at that point, darts off. Like he's literally just running scared.
Aim shot to the leg.
Again, it doesn't look like...
Why do they know G?
The girl's the one
Why do
who
they know
knows
G?
it.
She puts
What
her
do you
hands up.
know?
She's the one you're talking to. She puts her hands up. The guy, like, literally looks like he is not supposed to be here and
He's
is
like,
running
"Oh,
away.
oh."
You're shooting him in the leg.
Does he look like he doesn't look like he's a voodoo
He
boy.
literally looks like he's in the wrong... No, he looks like a voodoo boy. He just looks like he's in the wrong place at the wrong time, sees this is not a situation he wants to be a part of, and is
Well, yeah.
leaving. Your human perception would
Can I
tell you
trip
that
him?
he is not important. He is literally just trying to live in Night City. You want to
Fair.
shoot him in the leg, I mean, totally chill.
Yeah.
Okay, take the shot.
Done.
Aim shot. Let's see a -8 to the roll.
Christ.
He's gonna kill him. He's not in armor. You're just going to kill him.
Also,
Yeah.
Jesus!
real quick note.
What do you know of G?
I'd say he kind of got a bit away from you, so 7 to 12. That's still going to hit. You crit the leg. You aim shot to the leg, which means that's going to be
You
2...
blow his fucking leg
That's going to be
off.
2 different injuries to the leg, and I think there are only 2 that can be applied. So yeah, I'm pretty sure you just blew his leg off.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
his
Hatter
leg-
would
blows-
reach out and grab his gun afterwards
and kind of push it
and
down.
like push it down.
Well,
Please
the other thing I
roll.
want to note too is Jijo probably not prepared for that. I need you to make me a.
I have my gun out because somebody just shot a gun, so
I
I'm
need you
just
to
like,
make a.
whoa.
I need you to make a. Oh God, what would it be? Just make me.
Roll to
Oh,
keep
yeah.
it together. Let's bring Colt back.
Yeah.
Concentration. It's not so much to keep it together.
Sanity check.
It's very much a specific situation.
Okay.
Fuck.
Excellent.
So the gun being fired in this kind of like close quarters of location for what I will say is a street virgin like yourself is probably not something you've trained for, prepared for, or are used to. So with that 29, you hold yourself together, but there is definitely a pop, like a kind
Yeah.
of like, yeah, and a bit of a ringing afterwards, but it kind of clears pretty quickly. Had you rolled poorly on that, I would have damaged your ear.
Rude.
Okay.
Crown sort of like put Alex against the wall and like just be a
Yeah,
body shield.
Kind of
on
like,
her.
and kind of
Okay.
holding, like, you know, against, and kind of like hand on the knife, hand on the gun, ready to kind of squabble if necessary. The dude's leg gets blown off, and as you're kind of like yelling and kind of stalking in that direction, you'll see him bleed out and die there on the street. Like, he does not live. Now the woman's kind of holding her hand and kind of looking at you like,
Yeah.
that wasn't fucking necessary. That shit wasn't fucking necessary. I would have talked to you.
What do you know of G?
She kind of looks at the rest of your crew, and it looks like she's now playing for sympathy instead of like being intimidated.
Alex looks visibly confused. What are you talking about? What is this? This isn't our gig right now.
It's just like
G and Alpha are working together, and this piece of shit knows some.
Who's Alpha? Does this out of character? Does this mean anything to me?
These are great questions you're asking, and you're doing a great job role playing precisely how I want it to go. So just
Let's
keep-
go ahead and
Manny,
let's just
grab
say
the
it's happening
body.
character.
Man, he grabbed the body.
Yeah, Manny goes over and grabs the body. You can hear a loud unzipping, like after the gunshot, and then you see Summer pull out a Militech Mark 31 HMG, the biggest fucking gun you've ever seen in your goddamn life, Alex. And then you would see Clear go kind of walk over and place his hand on Gonzo and say, "There's no doubt everybody inside of that place heard that gunshot. You know that.
Just can't.
I understand you're trying to get to the
Losing.
bottom of this shit, but okay, keep in mind, we have other people here to concern
you
ourselves with, okay?"
Pretty
Me?
sure they don't get
I'm
paid
not gonna
enough
tell you how
know.
to do your business, but maybe ask the question first, and then shoot the gun.
You know, the painted girl,
Ran.
the girl with the clown face is right. It's probably smart to not, just shoot shit for no reason. It's okay. It's fine. He looks over at Alex and he says, "I'm sorry for Gonzo's." He's sometimes, a lot of situations have been happening. Kids and teenagers and such have been being taken by these fucking scabs. So he's a bit heated, and it seems that this situation
Scabs.
is related
Okay.
to that. Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, Gonzo. The pretty lady here kind of winks at Alex, is paying you, okay? Whatever she says go. She's in charge. Me and the crew, we're going to hold out the fort to make sure nobody who heard the gunshot comes around. If NCPD shows up, we're going to have to bolt, though, okay? So, you folks do what you got to do inside. We'll make sure nobody comes up from behind, okay? And Money goes, "You want to go get the car?" And Clear goes, "Yeah." And so Money runs off. Summer posts up at one side, Manny and Clarigo at the other, and they're kind of locking it down for you. Gonzo, you kind of look at the dead guy that, Manny did not go over and grab, just leaves there. And then the other voodoo boy, she's like, again, she looks like she, was playing for sympathy, and she looks like she's playing the right card there. And then she looks over to Alex. "So you're in charge?"
But I can tell that they
Sure.
know G, correct?
Oh, for sure. It looked like she was going to spill, but the guy was like literally running like, fuck, holy shit, he's got a gun. And he was right to do so, he just wasn't fast enough.
Okay. I don't. Okay. So you've got information about scabs.
No. G. G's not a scab.
Well, I heard. I don't know. Someone's talking about scabs. Look, this is taking a turn.
And G and Alpha don't work together. Alpha works for G, she says, looking at Gonzo.
This is all you needed to do.
You didn't really give me a lot of room.
Gonzo, you're not right. You're not right, Gonzo. This is like, okay. So look,
There's a moment, Gonzo, you have a vision in your head, and it's there you go. She's in charge. Okay.
okay, you gotta get out of here. Bye.
To her, you say that?
Yes.
Okay. She'll scatter the fuck off, but she's watching over her shoulder the whole time.
So I've recorded her face. I have her information. So I would say that too. Let me say that in character. Look, I recorded her data. I made a recording of our interaction. If you need more information from her, we'll find her.
And you can flick that information to an intern back at the mayor's office, and they can pull her records from the NCPD.
Okay. I got an intern working on it as we speak. You need to calm down.
Look,
Can you calm down?
yeah, calm. To be honestly, like,
Eating more.
I
Are you
might not
hungry?
be,
Is that why? You...
but this is completely normal for Gonzo. If number one, if I'm questioning people and they run, how do they not?
No,
Yeah, I
they're-
get it, but
they're
like at
obviously-
the same time,
Holy shit!
they can't talk if they're dead.
No, it's okay. Again,
That's
as
not
a
who I
char-
needed. Oh.
as a character moment, I appreciate it. So I just want
This
to
is like, well, it's kind of replaying what happens. Now I'm realizing this is what happens in the Valentinos. Is the women are in charge, the men act like rabid dogs, and then the women have to clean up the mess.
yeah.
It
and-
makes
Yeah.
sense.
But the other
Average.
thing is once you've got the leash established, then you've got yourself a very good situation. So again, he fucked up. I think he understands he fucked up. Gonzo, in character, kind of realizes like
Mhm.
the gunshot was
Yeah,
definitely
maybe
heard
no.
by people inside.
His nose was shoved into the pee, and he knows that he's a bad boy.
So the
Don't
gunshot
pee on
was
the carpet.
definitely heard inside. Crown, do me a favor, and I want you to go ahead and make me a perception roll. But I want you to have switched to threat detection amidst the midst, and kind of, again, you switched into bodyguard for a second, but then once shit started to kind of cool out, you were kind of like paying attention to the scene. Give me that perception roll. All right. So what you would have heard is like kind of like a skittering inside of the space, and then clear sounds of like a stair movement, like someone going down a set of staircases, a staircase. You're pretty sure whoever was inside ground floor has maneuvered out of that space, and is probably going down deeper into whatever to either hide or tell the others.
Okay. Kind of don't want to tell Gonzo because he might go fucking crazy.
Rip your legs off with his teeth.
Okay.
For sure. Again.
I'm gonna text Alex. I'm just gonna say,
You're
Mom.
literally touching her right now, but you're
Mom.
sending her a text message.
Mom, I'm scared.
say it out loud. Don't be sure.
My older brother's
He's gonna text.
he's a bully.
I'm gonna text Alex.
But Crown, what you could do instead of like notifying, if you wanted to check it out, you could open up the door, kind of maneuver
Okay.
in, and scout it out yourself. Do you want to do that instead?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Wait, I want to hear the message that he was gonna send.
if you want to flick a text,
Yeah,
while
on my
you're-
Chiron.
yeah, you
Okay.
obviously would notice that Crown is texting somebody, because unlike all of you other people, he does not have a phone in his head. He literally pulls it off of his chest plate, looks down
Oh
at it,
no.
and is doing
I didn't
like,
realize that.
this shit,
It's like
and then sets it back as he's kind of
This is literally like-
You're doing T9.
yeah,
This
he's-
fucking
he's-
T9.
he's
I'm
pulling
okay
a
with
pistol,
this.
and
I like this.
he's moving in through the door as you guys are kind of like dealing with that whole situation. But he's maneuvering in. The text you get says,
his movement. I'm gonna go check it out. Don't die while I'm gone. And then he's gonna put it back in his chest.
Okay.
And then do the thing.
Cute.
Gonzo would follow behind you.
no. Again, this is while you're dealing with your people.
Oh,
and
well,
trying to maneuver.
okay.
Yeah,
I
this
thought
is
the
all
whole
happening
girl would
simultaneously.
left.
Yeah, again,
All right, fair
obviously
enough.
things are happening chronologically in temporal
Yeah.
state here, but in game, Crown is maneuvering in beforehand. When you enter in
Yeah.
to the left, Crown, you would see that there's a bed. It looks like it's well used in one way or another. It looks like there's a living arrangement kind of present there. If you've ever lived bachelor style, which I believe you're doing now, you kind of have an idea of how this works. If you've ever lived with roommates, you'd also kind of have an understanding that this appears to be a bed that's utilized by multiple people and is like the only one they've got. Inside of this space, it looks like there is a shit fuck ton of like boxes and kind of like stuff, but nothing that looks like it's of substance. I say that with one exception. It does look like there is a Militech crate here, but it looks like it has like a bunch of scoring and like damage to it, like someone was trying to get into it and has yet to succeed at that. So again, lived in space on the left side, kind of a, well lit by what appear to be like shop lights, kind of space in the center. And as you kind of come around the corner with the Liberty kind of like out and kind of like, keeping an eye out, and you probably pull the Karambit out CQC, right? And kind of like are moving in like tight and maneuvered. You see that there is a staircase, and that has to have been the sound. So that's definitely where whoever ran. And if you're moving quietly, you're obviously not chasing after. You would kind of just stop for a second and listen again. Go ahead and throw me another perception roll.
18.
You would hear a voice speaking in a language you do not know, unless you happen to speak Haitian. And it sounds like there is another voice communicating with that individual. I'd say you'd be able to clarify that one sounds like a younger woman, and the other sounds like an older man, like a much older man.
Does it seem like... Does the inflection sound scared or angry?
I would say the man sounds angry and the girl sounds scared.
Okay. I'm gonna start heading down, but
Pause for a second.
Okay.
As you kind of like, because again, you're maneuvering in the space, it's check, your corners, everything, you're doing the full like military tactics, right? You're not dumb. You're not just going to shoot all willy-nilly. You're kind of moving to the stairs and you kind of stop there. Pause for a second though. The one thing I'm going to leave you with is, again, that Militech crate. It looks like someone was trying to open it, not understanding how military grade crate is supposed to be opened, and you're kind of laughing at it because it looks like all you have to do is go over and like set a specific latch, and you could pop the latch and open the crate if you desired. But we're going to cut off of you, and we're going to move back outside. So Hatter, Vix, Rem. Bang, 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 guns, everything's happening, people are moving, Alex is scolding, Gonzo is for getting told by Clarigo to stop being so unchill. Alex is kind of like focused in, speaks to the girl for a second, sends her off. Now that's all happening, and you're all standing there. At any point during that, you can maneuver and do what you like. Obviously, the big, Maori man moving towards the door, opening it and sliding in, looking like fucking Solid Snake, is something that you didn't miss, right? Like, that's obviously something in this narrow hallway you would have been able to clearly kind of spot. So, again, what would you like to do, Hatter?
First thing I would do is legitimately, I would make sure I sent Crown. He can find this out in a second because I know he's like focused. 1,000 eddies saying, "You're now my bodyguard."
Okay.
And with the tagline, if Gonzo goes crazy, make sure I live.
Wait a minute.
Oh, fuck.
Hold on. Alex, make a perception roll. This is too funny not to throw out there. I'm going to set the DV at 17. Perception's under awareness on the tabs. Oh
my
Can you
God.
stop rolling 10s? Okay. Holy shit. So remember how
I'm like a notoriously bad roller. So
Did
I
you
don't know
read
what's
my
happening.
mind?
Hold on, wait. So remember how I described the phone? So while he's sending you that text, you would see a text pop up, him go, finish this text with you, and then click that real quick, see Hatter's message, which is, again, very boomer-esque, like it's like zoomed in on the text. And so you're able to read it, and as he scrolls through it, you see the text. You don't see him reply, you see him kind of just like shrug and like put his phone on there. So you don't know what Crown's response is. But he'll maneuver into the space. And so that happens outside. Meanwhile, Vix, what are you doing?
I would probably follow Crown.
Okay. So again,
And be
Gonzo,
stealthy.
just so you are understanding, like everything's kind of winding down. After Rem
Yeah.
goes, you'll be able to maneuver in if you're because that was what you sounded like you wanted to do. You start seeing everybody go
100%.
for the door, obviously.
Yeah.
Rem, do you go in with them? Do you stay out with Alex? Since everyone seems to be kind of like, except for Hatter, who you know is not going to be shit in a fight. Do you maintain out here, or do you go inside?
Since Alex's bodyguard kind of abandoned her, she'll stand next to Alex.
Okay. And then you would see Gonzo kind of clear and move into the space. So, again, Clarigo and Summer are on one side. Money went to go get the car. Actually, it'd be Clarigo and Manny on one side. Summer on the other. Because, I mean, who the fuck am I kidding? She's got a HMG. And then Money went to go get the car and get it closer. Going inside, Gonzo, as you kind of enter in, Chiron pops. You'd see a tag. It says... sorry, boss, I got a dip. It seems like NCPD thinks I'm the one who shot the gun from Money. So it seems like he's taking the heat for your decision and is fucking off.
Love it.
All right. So once you get inside, let me go ahead and move your tokens on in the order as they were described. I don't know if everybody can see it or not. I think it might be black screen for most.
It's black.
Yeah. So
Black.
next on the ticket was Vix.
Yep.
You kind of come around the corner, see Crown moving towards the stairs, and then Rem, you would have been next on the ticket. Boom.
Hold on, am I still injured? I don't think I would still be injured.
You should heal your
many
body
days was
plus
it?
willpower, both of
Who
you.
deals with this since the Badland?
Yeah, you should heal exactly your body plus willpower.
Oh,
You've had 1 day of downtime.
One day.
body plus willpower.
So yeah, I'd be at full.
Cool. Yeah, you guys weren't super damaged. Your luck remains the same, though. Should not
Yep.
gain any luck.
Also, just to specify, Crown, you do now have 1,000 more eddies. That is just yours. You can say yes or no, but for right now, that is, you just have 1,000 now.
Well, if he sends it back, then you know he doesn't want to mess with that because that's what he did to Cryptid.
Yeah.
Rev, you step in again, seeing the situation, and once you oh, that's double Rems.
That's two rounds.
Yeah. Wait.
Just
I
one
was
Rem.
with Alex.
Oh, you're staying outside.
Yeah.
Right.
Rem
Sorry.
for that.
Yeah, it was Gonzo that went in next.
Gonzo went in next. Sorry.
Well, I would have gone in at my initiative.
Well, there's no initiative. We're not doing a fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair. Well, anyway, I took a bump.
Right, that's fine. You're faster on the reflex, but again, you are also being
Okay.
scolded by everyone outside.
And Vix is
So
literally gonna look over her shoulder and be like, "Be cool."
Stealth. And you see Crown like looking like goddamn solid, like a Maori solid snake at the top of the stairs, kind of look over at you, like, and it's
Yeah.
just like a judgmental fucking look, right? Like it's like the situation is a lot hotter than it needed to be. And then Hatter, Alex, once you kind of have the outside situation assessed, you're out there with Rem. Do you three want to maneuver in, or do you have any discourse you want to discuss outside? Obviously, with current events on the table.
I would look over at Alex and say, "You look shocked," or like commenting on someone dying.
I've seen people die before. I haven't seen whatever that was before.
A temper tantrum?
So yeah. So we should probably, I mean, Rem, we should probably head in with them. I don't want to be out here, you know, if our presence begins to draw attention.
Making sure that you're protected.
Speaking of which, where's my fucking bodyguard? Okay, come on, let's go in.
He's in there.
Okay. So you make your way in. And again, the situation is to Crown, who has point at current. Crown, seeing the situation, understanding that there are two unknowns underneath, it seems like it's about a 20-foot descent in the kind of stone cascade of steps before you. There's the opportunity to kind of maneuver, but one thing you would notice is you're moving very quietly. Vix's feet are kind of just tempered to be quiet. like they're just little rubber stoppers on like the caps of her blade feet. So she's kind of maneuvering quiet. But the second Gonzo, Hatter, especially Hatter, and everyone else kind of enters in, you notice that there's a bit of a clonk to the concrete floor, and your presumption is that there's no way the people below you do not now know that there are people above them.
Yeah. Mm.
Boop.
When I look down the stairs, is it just like solid wall on either side, or
No.
on one side?
The left side is free and clear. It's basically mostly dark in that space. You feel like once you kind of descend about halfway, your eyes will acclimate and you'll be fine. But from what you can tell, it's mostly pitch black, and it looks like it just kind of goes to a corner. There might be a doorway on the left side when you get down to the bottom of the steps, but up here, it's kind of a situation where sight lines are not very good.
Okay.
Oh, and
And
your perception was good enough to know that the voices are under the stairs. So, like, behind the staircase. So you'd have to go down, turn around like a U-turn, and kind of maneuver after the stairs. Does that make sense?
yeah, so if they already know we're all coming in anyway, Crown is just gonna get halfway down the stairs.
Mhm.
He's just gonna say, we're not here to kill. Please don't do anything stupid. I'm coming down.
You'd hear a
And then
female
he's
voice
gonna-
say, well, then who shot the gun? And then you'd hear a voice in Haitian kind of very scoldingly yell back at her. And then you'd hear a male voice say, we don't want any trouble.
All
Alright,
right.
just don't run.
We have nowhere to run.
Okay, and then you should be good.
We're coming
Alright.
down. He's gonna go downstairs.
And I'll stay a little
Oh, shit.
further up on the stairs. Like if you're on the bottom, I'll be up probably like a few steps, so I can still see in. But
Okay. So I'm going to move you two specifically down to the other map, but I'm going to pause for a second because I want to fuck with the people who are upstairs. So with that said, Magpie, Jonah, Whoosh. Don't move around in that space for me, please.
okay.
Just hold there. That's what you're able to see. That's where you're clear.
Okay.
Now, when it comes to everyone else up on top, you can move around at your pleasure. And as the room has been described, we'll go for it again. Left, when you first enter in, it looks like there's a bed that's used by multiple people. Looks like it's basically a circulatory bed. I don't know if anybody has kind of lived that kind of life. I know I have. There's definitely kind of just like a grouping of shit next bedside. Looks like, phone chargers, all that shit. You've got a couple of boxes inside the space. They don't look like they're for anything or like they matter, except for the Militech box. Looks like it's been kind of scored at and people have been trying to get it open. Hatter, without a roll, you use these boxes all the time. You actually know that it's a Militech supply crate E3. It is specifically openable for easy and quick access, and the people just didn't know how to operate the latch mechanism, and so you would be able to open that crate without issue. And then it does look like, for whatever reason, this place is very well lit. There is a lantern, electric lantern, that's kind of flickering near the bedside, and there are a series of flood lamps that have been placed throughout the space to make it very well lit. I'll start with Gonzo, since you were the first one in. What would you like to do operationally?
I'd go pick up the lantern.
Okay. Yeah. I can't move it off of the automated map, so graciously brought to us by the solution. But you have a lantern that is kind of flickering.
Yeah, cool.
If you kind of give it a pat with your boom buster, it'll kind of like unflicker. Like it looks like it's just left to linger too long. The bulb kind of gets a little loose. But yeah, it now works operationally as a light for you.
If I tossed it, it would definitely break, though. Correct?
Oh, for sure. If not, just kind of go back to its flick. Like the best case scenario is flickering. The worst
Okay, cool.
case scenario is no more working. Okay, so you watch that happen. There's a bunch of shit, as I mentioned, near the bed. We can discuss that here in a second. We're going to move to the next person in, which would have been, let's go ahead and say Alex Hatter. You two can fight over it. Yielding.
Yeah.
Okay, Alex definitely has her hand kind of digging into Rem's arm, and is looking around, and what is this thing over here?
Sure, that's one of the flood lamps. Yeah.
Oh, okay. And where's the crate? Is
The
this the
Militech
crate?
crate is this here.
That's the crate. Okay, I don't know what the fuck that is. So I'm gonna just inch forward, staying very close to Rem.
Okay. And do you want to check what Gonzo's looking like? He's got the light. He's kind of looking.
Yeah,
at the
I mean, I do also want to keep an eye on Gonzo, I guess, to
Okay.
make sure he's not fucking
So-
anything else up.
I'll say if you're helping him search the area, then you can roll perception. If he's helping you roll, you can roll perception. Either way, whoever's helped will get a +2 to the roll. If
I'll
Gonzo helps, it'll be a +3 because he's got the light.
Okay, so I'll roll
Perception.
perception with a +2. But
Plus
is there a
two.
way for me to put that in?
We'll just add it after the fact.
Okay, cool.
We're good at math.
23.
24. So as you're searching the space, Gonzo, like there's a light, and you kind of go, "What's that?" and kind of point down. Probably having put your pistol away by now.
Definitely not.
Oh, like points with a pistol then. And Alex, you kind of maneuver. Obviously, he's got decent trigger discipline, but you kind of wander over to what he was kind of pointing at, and you would see a small kind of military green lockbox with kind of the simple like ammo catch like latches. I don't know if you're familiar with those, and it looks like it has on the top a Militech logo, like old style, with like the triangle instead of the M. And it looks like the Militech has been kind of filed off, except for the C, and it's been stylized into a G.
Great. I grab it
Okay, you kind of
and I
set
try
it.
to pocket it.
Oh, he saw it.
Wait, how big is it?
Yeah, it's about yay big, but like when you kind of pull it up, it's like the G kind
Then
of helped
if
you find
if
it.
I can tell that he saw it, I'm not touching it.
Yeah, again, he's not going to jump on you. He's going to let you investigate.
I don't know that.
Are you going to jump on him? On her?
No.
I don't know that. No, but Alex doesn't know that.
Okay. So
Alex just saw him
that's fair.
like shoot
That's fair.
someone.
Okay. So if
Talking
you just,
about G
if
this,
you just
G
take
that.
it and like kind of look at it and then kind of realize it and then kind of look up, like he's paying attention, but he's not really like doing anything. He just seems
Wait,
to
are
be
you
kind of
gonna
like
fucking murder me
in
now?
NPC, like
Definitely
lamp
not.
mode. You would kind of pocket the case, and there would be no problems. You have the case in your coat. Kind of scanning around a little bit more. Like there's really not much to the space other than that lockbox. But Gonzo, not to like leave you kind of unaffected, there is a pistol kind of hidden away under the pillow. Why the person who was here didn't take that, you can't be certain. But the pistol, like as you kind of pick it up and look it over, it is a
Husband gone.
kind of shitty. It looks like it has been kept very well, is what I mean by that. Not that it's a shitty gun, but it looks as though it is a what I would say you would recognize as a medium or a heavy pistol. It looks like a Militech Omaha.
I put it in my between my belt.
Yeah,
and my-
kind of slide it in there
Yes.
between the knives and such. Okay, cool. Then we'll cut to Hatter, Militech crate, all the way.
Yeah, I just go mess with it.
For
No point
sure.
not to. I'm watching just like a gang or Psycho, which I know those through and through, but I'm like a little discipline would go a long
Again,
way
you
here.
know
and would just-
Gonzo.
Okay. So I'll be completely honest.
Yeah.
If I pull a gun on someone, I'm interrogating them, and someone runs,
We're not going to get into the detailing.
they're
of, like,
getting shot.
We're not going to run into
I mean,
the
that's-
details. What I want to make sure that
Yeah.
everyone explains, just so we have it on the table, because it's already been kind of nuanced a couple of times. Everyone's tense around Gonzo because of the situation that happened outside. That's clear.
Yeah.
And Gonzo's recognizing that and is kind of coming down too. So we're just going to chill with that. You kind of understand he's not a psycho. You've seen him operate. He's a little
Yeah.
spirited. Let's say that.
Oh yeah, I was just meaning that as of last time I saw him,
Sure.
he was like a straight up soldier, no
For sure.
questions asked, hit his targets, commanded his people.
Yeah.
So it just like
Again.
changed the opinion a tiny bit.
But the thing that he was asking is something you are related to. So you are familiar
Yes.
with the G situation. So you know
And I'd
his
be
people are
very quiet about
probably
it.
being taken by
Yeah.
the scav. So you understand why he's.
Oh yeah, I agree
There's
with
a
him.
reason for the passion.
Yeah, no,
So you.
I'm not
move over-
scolding him for it. It's
Fair
not like I
enough.
wouldn't kill someone.
I just want to make sure it's clear and on the table, and we can leave it there. You walk over to the Militech crate, you pop it open without issue. Inside, you would find a perfectly pristine, wonderfully beautiful, amazing Militech cowboy with a total of 2 rounds of ammunition. For those who aren't familiar with the cowboy is an automatic grenade launcher.
I can't use that.
Grenade launcher, you said.
Pretty cool,
I would-
though. For
I
those
would-
who can.
I definitely would pick it up without really checking much more into it. I would just immediately try to pick it up.
Okay. Yeah, it's not. It's. I mean, it's something you would be able to kind of not really get off of the ground. It requires a body 11 to move,
Oh.
like, and actually use. I mean, like, you could probably pick it up, but you're not using it. Like, that's just not. That's not a thing that's
No.
happening. The Militech Cowboy U-56 grenade launcher is a usually mounted grenade launcher that can fire 2 grenades per round. It has a rate of fire of 2. It holds a total of 4 shots per clip, and it has 2 clips in the box.
Oh my god.
And when I say clip, I mean clip, Daniel Bundles. When you watch this back, they are not magazines.
That's beautiful.
They are slides that are placed in and then pulled out, railed.
It's 4 shots per clip.
Correct.
Mm. Mm.
Well,
You know nothing about it, Crown, okay?
I know,
'Cause
I know, I know.
You also don't have a body for it.
I do have the body for it.
You have a body of 11?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow, okay. Grafts of muscle and bone lace. Okay. Rem, last but not least.
Jesus.
She is sticking to what she said and staying close to Alex,
Okay. Gonzo,
keeping an eye on the staircase where Crown had disappeared to.
I'm going to have you give me a perception check as you're walking away from the bed with the other 2 as you kind of search the area.
Okay.
Okay. So as you're kind of walking away, you kind of stop for a second, kind of look at the light, and then look down. And something about the flickering of the light not being present, and just like the normalcy of the light, kind of causes shadows to kind of be normalized. And what you realize is that you didn't check under the bed. Do you make a quick move to kind of like scan underneath the bed?
Yeah.
Okay. When you do so, underneath the bed, you would see what appears to be like a 16, 17-year-old kid kind of hiding under the bed, like very kind of cautiously. And when you kind of look them in the eyes, it's kind of a moment of wide-eyed terror from the person who's kind of staring at you. She would kind of
I'd do this.
She would kind of like nod her head. And you just kind of get up and leave?
No. I would lift up and I would point.
Alex, you would see Gonzo kind of drop down, pop back up, and then point at the bed.
Alex would go,
Kai, oh, I don't want to have your number.
Yeah, if you kind of back away, like, and just kind of like, you know, like move the light just a little bit, and kind of gesture, Alex, you would be able to see that there appears to be a child underneath the bed.
Are they dressed? Are they clothed?
Yeah.
Okay.
"Hey, what's your name?"
The child would say nothing in response.
The big scary guy just told him to be quiet.
Yeah.
Fair.
I mean, I don't know that I saw that
No,
exactly.
you didn't.
Right. So I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, well, this kid's probably, but I can
Okay.
tell this kid is scared.
the main thing I'm going to focus on here is Hatter, you are here and you are investigating the crate. You are looking at it and going, ooh, you're doing the machine hands. You can hear a little bit of sparks flying. You're just like, oh, yeah, we're going to get that in Crown's hand. We're going to have a killing machine. And then you've got Gonzo kind of, like, huh? Oh. And then kind of popping up and, like, gesturing, like, not knowing what to do. Obviously a weird fucking situation. And then Alex, like, trying to kind of coordinate. And then Rem, are you kind of, like, focused in on the situation also? Like, I don't know how Rem reacts to kids. Based on everything you've described about her, I don't think she's a kid person. But
No, she's not a kid. She's not a kid person, but she's definitely like sympathetic to like kids that are in like shitty situations.
And it's Night City. I mean, 17 is kind of an adult anyways, right? You can start working at 14. Fuck it.
Yeah.
And I just had a question I don't want to think about. For another day. For another Night City might have just gotten gross for me. But yeah. That said, how would you like to proceed, if at all, Rem?
Bring him out.
Okay. You kind of reach down and kind of try to get him out?
Yeah, she'll like
Give
kind
me
of lean down and not like pull them out or anything, but like
try and kind of coax
like,
him out. Give me a persuasion roll. Under social.
Social. 12.
Okay. Some not satisfactory. So you're kind of like, trying to make your way out, and there's like a tension kind of building up in your head of like, this isn't working. They're not really replying to stimuli. It's not working. I'm going to cut from you folks, and we're going to move us down to... and I know the screen's going to disappear for you. I'm sorry. Just believe me, it's cool what's happening. So, Vix, you're kind of at the top of the stairs. You hear some shit happening up above, but you can see that Crown is basically locked into motion and kind of moving down the steps. And I'm assuming you've got your piece out, right? Or the wire pulled.
Yeah.
And you're basically kind of locked in, kind of right behind him. You realize this is a situation where a professional's working, and you're like, it's good to have a team. So, Crown, you come around the corner, down at the bottom of the steps. You would see... she's not doing a great job of hiding. A woman at the bottom of the steps, kind of around the back of it, underneath the stairs that you're on. And as she kind of sees you, she kind of lets out a kind of like a gasp, but then you'd hear a voice from behind her go, "It's no worry. We can talk this out. It's fine. Come on. Come around the corner."
Crown, does he sees like this area, right?
Yes.
Alright, Crown's gonna motion to Vix to check out, like, with his hands, he's just gonna go like that, to check out, that area over there.
Okay.
And then he's gonna take point and go over here.
So if you're trying to do it non-worded, you don't have lip, or you don't have,
Ball gag.
ball gag, or that's not
Oh,
the name
shit.
of it, but, gag order. The picture of this
I just
guy-
always call it ball gag. I've never been corrected.
Right. My brain just caught it. The image for the perk is a guy with a ball gag in their mouth. But
Gotcha.
Vix, go ahead and make me a tactics roll. This is under education. Sufficient. So basically, he goes like this, and then he kind of points at the door. You assume he wants eyes on the door watching his back. So do you maneuver in that way, or do you stay at the top of the stairs? Okay.
I will jump down.
Kind of slowly pace around the corner, come around, and watch out. Okay. So, real quick, Crown, when you come around the way and kind of like are looking at her, pistols down, non-threatening, knife underneath, CQC baby, and you kind of look at her like, this can be up in a second, and she kind of is like, surprised. The gentleman behind her is an older, Haitian gentleman. Hair is white, but you can see that it looks like it is kind of like blonde, kind of closer to the ends. Like he dyed it at one point blonde, like a kind of silver platinum blonde, and it's kind of grown into that. And he's seated in a chair next to a or seated like on a bench, really. Looks like there's kind of like a little communal area, and there's a table near him, and on the table, not in the picture like precisely, but kind of there, is a RPG that is pointed directly at you, and his hand is on it, and he's looking at you. We don't have to make this violent. And he kind of raises his hand very kind of calmly.
So Crown, instead of CQC, he's gonna sort of jab the knife in its holster, and then he's gonna have one hand up and put his pistol away on the other side.
The other hand up.
And then he's gonna just kind of take a stance like at least 5 feet, 10 feet away from the lady.
And he'll say, Alice, go. And she'll kind of like, but I think there's more up there. He says again, Alice, go. And she'll kind of move around you to the stairs. And then he kind of holds his hand up above the rocket propelled grenade's handle where he had his finger on the trigger, and he kind of gesture to the seat across from him.
Okay, yeah, Crown will take that initiative and I'll just sit here.
Vix, you come around the corner and you would see what appears to be a tarpaulin over what appears to be a series of bags that have been stacked neatly kind of in the center of the room with a floodlight on them. And then across the way, it looks like there are a series of old refrigerators that have been kind of gutted out, and it looks like there's kind of tarps on the ground in front of them. The very first thing that you notice when you come around the corner is it smells like funk in here. Like, it just smells weird. I don't know if you personally have ever been to like a butcher, but it's that kind of gamey smell that's kind of present in that kind of space. Yeah, it's certainly an ick. It's kind of like a raw, earthy, meaty smell. So Vix, you can stay in kind of your watch position. It looks like whoever Ellis is, she's making her way to the stairs. She's not going up them though.
Yeah, don't go up there without one of us.
And she'll kind of nod. And then, do you want to go into the room with the tarpaulin and the weird bags? There also looks like there's a pair of they're not so much doors as they're kind of like passageways out, and it looks like they lead into the sewer.
No, I'm gonna post up here.
Holding the line, keeping Crown's back. We love that. Crew for crew. You sit across from this man, and he says, "You're not here for me. I know who you're here for. Hold on." And he'll kind of touch his watch, and then he kind of sits back. His eyes turn bright blue, and then his voice changes slightly, and he says, "I'm sorry, who are you?"
Crown? Who are you?
What are you doing in my den?
I'm just here on a bodyguard escort. I don't really know who you are.
Tell Patrick when the person who is here paying the bills is ready to talk. I'll be ready. I have business I need to be dealing with. You see the eyes shift from blue to normal, and the guy kind of... How'd it go?
Yeah, I don't know who that is. Just give me one moment. He's gonna pull out his agent. He's gonna shoot a text to Alex.
Okay.
Blue eyes, man took over body.
Well, real
Help,
quick.
please.
Sorry, you're in kind of like the biotechnica scene business, kind of higher business. You know what a proxy is. So a proxy is a person who set up cyberware inside of themselves, like a doll, to kind of be incorporated with programming and can act as a remote body for other individuals.
Is it always blue eyes, or is it
the blue eyes is a signifier of a call? So when your eyes, when you make a phone call or a text, your eyes will either like flicker blue or turn solid blue for a moment if you have cyber eyes. Again, your phone it glows, but right. Everybody else, if they like it, when they say I flick details to them or I do this to that, their eyes will either flicker blue for kind of just communication or red for economic transactions.
Gotcha. Okay. So I'm gonna shoot her a text. Proxy down here. Don't know who it's for. they need the boss woman. Come down when possible.
Okay.
Send.
And he kind of looks at you and says, "We're not going to have any trouble, right?"
I hope not. It depends on who you're working for.
I don't work for anybody.
Well, well, whoever the boss is, I don't know.
There are kind of differences between willingness and non-willing.
That's true. Well, hopefully not. We'll see when our spirited fella comes down here.
Okay. So back upstairs. Gonzo, Alex, you're realizing Rem is not doing a great job at this. If you would like to try and like kind of get down there and communicate with the child, the 17-year-old, practically an adult, and get them out, you can. Or if you want to just leave it, you can as well. It doesn't look like they have a weapon or access to one anymore now that Gonzo has it on his belt.
She's like getting frustrated.
Oh yeah. Honestly,
Come on, just get out!
if okay, Gonzo, you drop down next to Rem, kind of push her aside.
What are you
she's probably
doing
like,
here?
The child would say, "I live here. What are you doing here?"
There's some bad people here that are abducting people who have no business being here off the street. You know anything about that?
Who are you to say who's bad and who's not bad?
Huh.
You think just because you have a cross tattooed to your neck that you're a good person?
What's your name?
Doesn't matter. I'm not a good person.
Who's to say that you're not a good person? Just kidding, this is dancing.
Yeah, no, that's fine. If you want to turn her logic about on her, that's fine, but...
Yeah, no, that's not what Gonzo would do.
Sure.
Have you taken part in the business of these scavs?
There are no scavs
Willingly?
here. There are no scavs here. We do the work of Hababas.
Who?
Not a who, it's a where. And I would say that at this point, Hatter, you're kind of like, you've got the grenade launcher, you managed to like get a sling around it, you're kind of walking over back to the area, and this place is pretty quiet. There's kind of some weird murmurings downstairs, but you can't really hear them. But you would hear like whispered tones. You wouldn't hear what she said precisely.
Yeah, just seeing a child underneath the bed. They don't look kitted out at all or anything like that.
There's number one. If they're 17, I wouldn't say they're a child.
Yeah. So they're young. They're a young buck for sure. She definitely doesn't look like she has much in the way of chrome. She's got a neuroport. It looks like she has cyber audio suites installed in her ears, and she obviously has a personal link, and looks like she has 2 digits on her right hand that are cybernetic.
Okay. I would kind of just openly talk and ask, because could I have heard Gonzo?
Yeah.
At all during this?
Yeah, Gonzo's
Yeah,
loud.
I would just ask, are you in the business of moving parts? Because I'm in that business too. I just prefer to do it after they're dead.
She would shake her head, and at this point, like seeing that she's kind of getting surrounded, she'd kind of pull herself out of underneath the bed if no one's trying to bar her from doing so, and then she'll sit on the edge of the bed. She, once in the light, is a bit different than you were expecting. She appears to have kind of a pale skin to her, but like the more you kind of like focus in on her, you would realize that she appears to be albino. Her hair is blonde and frizzy, and her eyes are definitely cyberware now that you're able to see them in the light. She has tattoos on her left arm, which is bare, She's kind of wearing just like a simple kind of like crop top and jeans. Pretty simple cyber punk fashion. But the tattoos appear to be voodoo boys. And she would say when she's out, in response to, what was your question again?
Are you in the business of moving parts?
We don't move parts, we receive them.
What do you do with them?
If someone would ask.
She would say, we make them ready for Hababas.
That's the second time you've said that place?
Downstairs. I wouldn't suggest going.
Well,
Why?
it's too late for two people.
Because God watches over. Gonzo, the term God watches over is something that kind of like, for whatever reason in this moment, you kind of, you've been seeing a lot of Valentino tagging. That is that exact phrase. God watches over. Recently. You don't know where it comes from. You're not sure if she's just kind of like aping off of the, Valentino style, or if maybe Valentinos are utilizing that tagging due to nefarious connections. But again, it's weird for her to say it.
Okay.
Hatter would just say, I hate you zealots.
I
Because having to deal with it in the maelstrom, it's
She shakes her
not
head.
fun.
I'm not referring to religion.
Worshipping a person isn't better than religion.
I never said
I
worshipped
hate you
God.
zealots.
I never said I
I would-
worshipped God. He just watches
that their
over all.
I would stop talking to her. I don't get into theological debates with a 17-year-old. Hatter's like near 40.
She shakes her head. Alex and Rem, it sounds like you're already picking up on it, Elizabeth, so can you go ahead and follow that line of thought? And Alex, if you want to roll human perception.
Is God their name?
His name, yes.
G.
She nods at Gonzo.
You're gonna lead us downstairs.
I'm not. You're not really picking up
We
on the
can just-
context until Rem basically explains it, Alex. You're kind of like, probably in the same boat as Hatter. Like, religion is a thing. At least maybe in your background. And then when Rem kind of points it out that somebody took the handle of God, it's kind of like blasphemy. But also kind of like okay, go off, I guess. You think
Ego
you're that
much?
cool? Yeah, if you think you're that cool, I guess. I mean, whatever. Sorry, you're gonna take me to him, is what you said. And she says,
Yeah.
She says, I am not. God's not here.
But God watches.
God watches all, she says.
Well, have I gotten the proxy text yet?
Yes, now you get it right now. You want her
Okay.
away from them?
No. I would say, well, we might have a proxy to God downstairs.
She would say,
God better
Patrick,
be paying me for my brain dances. That's
She
all
would say,
gotta
Patrick,
Can I
say.
start searching her person?
again, she's wearing a pair of jeans and a crop
There's
top.
no way
They're
she's
really-
concealing
there's-
anything.
Yeah, if she's got something, she's putting
Okay.
it.
It's
Fair enough.
inside of her.
Ain't getting it out quickly is how we're going to say that.
That is a keystring situation. That is definitely, yeah. She again, she kind of looks like she might have been working at like a bar or a club or something. Like that's the kind of attire, that's the vibe you're getting. And on reflection, the people that were outside, one who you mowed down, also had a similar kind of attire, accoutrement to them. That looked like they kind of worked in the service industry.
You mean that they're related to this cult?
Who, the service industry?
Yes.
No, there's no
All
cult.
of them.
There's no cult here. That's Northside bullshit.
That's what
Be
they
your
want
cult.
you to
Be
say.
your cult.
Presumably unrelated.
Bum bum bum.
But yeah, there's nothing she
well,
has on her person. Go ahead, Elizabeth, sorry.
Well, I say you stay up here, we go down there, and we're all happy. Except
What
maybe God.
What
He
kind of
doesn't
linens
sound
are there?
It's just sheets and shit. It's.
I'm gonna start tearing them and braiding them. Anybody got rope?
What are you doing?
What?
Tying this person up? Are we just gonna let everybody go?
Going anywhere.
I mean, if we go downstairs,
You're thinking like a cop. Like, again, like, what is she going to do? Who is she going to tell who isn't already aware of your presence?
fair.
Are there any Valentinos
God
left?
watches.
Upstairs.
Yeah, there's the three out, or
Yeah.
there's the four outside, or three outside. If she gets
Yeah.
outside, what is she gonna do? Run down the alleyway and get shot by her friends? Like,
Yeah.
she's staying put.
So I think what we can say, we can say, you know, Alex would say we've got guns posted up outside, and we're gonna head downstairs. Stay here. I don't want to hurt you. I don't want anyone here to hurt you. We have business here.
Okay.
Are we good?
She would nod, seemingly okay with it.
So, you know, Gonzo, I mean, if you take up the rear, if she tries anything, you got her, right? And then you've got Valentino's out front.
Fair enough.
Are we good?
That'd work.
As you
Okay.
pull away from her, Gonzo, I need you to make an evasion roll, but I'm giving you a very high DV due to you not expecting this. And I'm going to mention right off the bat, if he fails this evasion roll, content warning.
Oh.
A second.
Real quick before he does it, I'm giving him one luck if anyone else wants to join
You
in.
have to spend luck before the roll. Chipping in only works after the fact if you have a rocker.
If you...
I gotta save mine.
Yeah, again, we
I've
still
been in
have
so many games.
a bit of session left here.
Wait, where's it under
Sorry.
again? I can't
Evasion's
find
under
it.
fighting.
Body, right?
Fighting.
Only have 3 left.
Fighting.
And it's mines. Okay, so 21.
Didn't need
And
it.
nobody else called for it? No, yeah, I set the DV very high.
He did need it. He
Oh.
did.
So
Then I'll burn my luck.
you have to
I'll
burn
2
before
points
the
and
roll, not
reroll.
after.
Yeah.
do not have a
with the
rocker.
perk you gave me.
Huh?
The gambling perk.
Oh,
gave
you
me.
re-roll. Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so then roll again. You still have the +1 luck from that'll be a success. That's exactly what you needed. 21 was the DV.
Oh,
So,
Damn.
no content warning, but you'll understand the content warning. She jumps up out of the bed, grabs the pistol you put in your belt, and pulls it, and you're able to grab her wrist and push the gun back down so that she doesn't get a handle on the trigger, or finger through the trigger guard. And you kind of look down at her and kind of grasp her on the shoulder, and she says, "Just let me!" And you push her onto the bed and kind of look down at her confused, and she says, "Just let me!" And she just starts...
Fuck, I'd shoot her, dude. I'd just shoot her.
What?
Are you reading
Why
the
would I
room?
not shoot? Why would I
Well-
not shoot her?
Well, if she
I
if
am
she
a
attacked him,
gangbanger.
Okay,
if she
okay.
attacked him,
also,
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
agree.
yeah, hold on,
I
hold
agree
on.
with him.
Hold
I
on,
agree
hold
with
on.
him.
What
Yeah.
are we
Take
playing?
the shot. Take the shot.
He
Take the
was
shot.
trying-
Take the shot. Take the shot. Take the shot.
I'm serious.
Take
Like,
the
what
shot.
are we
Take the
playing?
shot. Take the shot. Take the shot.
I
He
did.
did, and he failed.
Holy no, he didn't.
No, he. Oh, yeah, he did. He did.
Yeah, his targeting scope isn't included, so it is the 14.
And it's an aim shot to her head.
oh,
Fuck it.
that'll miss. That'll miss.
Oh, that'll miss by a mile.
I always aim shot for
well,
the
you
head.
didn't say you
I
aim
always-
shot. You didn't say you aim shot.
I
this time.
always
He
do.
didn't
It's,
say.
it's hitting her dead on. It's hitting her dead on.
Whatever.
That
Cool.
that works. You hit her in the chest. The lights seem to go out in her. She is dead. So for those of you who are watching the situation, you see it like very quickly. Goes for the gun, pushes her back, pulls his gun, and then pulls the trigger. She lays on the bed, dead. Those downstairs, text is sent. You're kind of waiting for the boss. I'd say about a minute or so after that text was sent and received, Crown, you hear a gunshot upstairs. What do you do in response? Vix, you hear a gunshot upstairs. The girl you're keeping an eye on runs to the corner in a panic and is just like,
Get back here.
and
Yeah,
kind of
just,
drops into a corner, like into a ball, like trying to hide herself.
and I will like move here so I can still kind of see this opening, but also look up the stairs.
Okay.
Be like, you
What?
good?
Padraig will kind of look at you.
They're
Crown.
fucking nuts.
Again,
What is the
Yeah,
old
and you
man-
gave her what she wanted. Let's go downstairs.
There was another one? Son of a...
if you folks start
It
moving
was
downstairs,
basically a kid.
Oh, God.
Yeah, we moved downstairs.
okay.
At any point in this interaction or that interaction, does the old man reach for the rocket?
No.
Okay.
Also, just to say, Hatter is staying upstairs. Very, very
Uh,
firmly. He is not
before-
going down those steps.
Before we go downstairs, I do ping back a message to Crown
Yeah.
that we're headed down.
So you see Vix first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Who am I missing? Alex. Okay.
All right, she is gonna very clearly point out there is one behind me. Just leave her be. Stay
Okay.
there.
No. Okay.
Don't fucking move.
So real quick. I just want to clarify. So again, Dan, apologies. You are right.
What if
It
question?
definitely-
What if I would have tied her up?
Yeah. Again, she wouldn't have been good with it. She would have gone for the gun.
But-
it would have happened that way
but-
anyways. But you're right. You're right. Again, you are a gangbanger, and she
No, it
did
makes
try to grab
sense.
your piece. That makes sense. You're 100% correct. Again, everyone else, I was trying to say, you're giving her what she wanted, but what she wanted was, it's fine. You're correct. You make your way down the stairs with the crew. You would see another woman. This one looks like she's probably in her 20s. Kind of like balled up in the corner, hands on the back of her head, like scared. And looking at her from the back like this, Gonzo, you would notice that it looks like the back of her neck and like around the sides of her neck, you
Yeah.
can see what appears to be kind
She's
of like
chipped.
signs of choking.
Okay.
When you kind of come around, you're kind of looking at her, and Alex, you kind of don't notice that. That's obviously not something you'd be kind of keeping an eye out, and the lighting's kind of shit down here anyway. Vix,
I
you're
got
kind
you.
of focused on the situation, and
Yeah.
weren't really paying attention to her other than a possible threat. And you kind of
Yeah.
note to the others like there's some weird shit over here in that other room.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do
It
beat
smells
by
funky
beat.
in there. I'm not.
Alex, Vix would tell you that Crown's over there, kind of to the right. So you'd head over that way.
Yeah.
Okay. Gonzo, it sounds like they're going over there to have some sort of conversation. You can kind of head over there to kind of like, be there and kind of check what's going on. But Vic says there's some weird shit going on over here in that room. Again. And then there's the woman in the corner that you recognize appears to be the victim of assault.
Okay.
Do you wish to engage with the scene and...
I'll disregard her.
Okay.
Does she look like she'd have anything on her?
No. She looks scared. She
Okay.
looks like she's
Then
kind
I
of
don't
panicking. She looks like she's
Yeah.
dressed similar to the people that were outside.
If she gets near me,
Oh no, she's not moving. Yeah, she's
Just
definitely not a
saying.
threat. For sure. Do you want to move down into the room to the south, or do you want to move to the east?
I'm gonna look for the Marui.
Okay, so you head south, and then Rem, you come down. Same ask you person, place or thing.
She'll follow Alex unless Alex says she's good.
Okay, and then Hatter.
Staying upstairs if possible.
Okay, so you're at the top of the stairs, just kind of keeping an eye down. Okay.
100%. I would be if I could be on that crate where I got the rocket launcher from, sitting down, just with that thing on my lap, contemplating why I can't use it and the sadness that brings. Like that's really that's where his day's at, just looking at a body and looking down at himself.
Okay, Vix, now that it appears that the kind of choke has kind of moved down, and Hatter appears to be covering the back angle, you're going to move with Gonzo into the room with the stuff?
Yep.
Cool. Okay, we'll deal with that first, and then we'll deal with the conversation with God. Gonzo, you see a tarpaulin. Looks like it's over a series of what appear to be kind of like soil bags. You know what I'm talking about? And then
Yeah.
there are the dead refrigerators on the far side. There are two passageways that look like they lead into what you presume would be the sewers. Looking at it a little bit more detailed and like kind of down the line, it looks like just an old tunnelway. And it also almost kind of looks like a street.
Okay. So basically, the lower, I don't know, underneath Night City.
A lot of the city is built over on top of other shit. Yeah, that does
Yeah.
happen a lot in Night City. Like if I'm building a construction and these people aren't willing to sell their property, I'm just going to build my property entirely around you. That happened a lot.
It's well
in-
lit though down here.
Yeah, there are a shit ton of floodlights for some reason.
Okay.
Do you want to check the refrigerators, the
Oh yeah.
passageway, or
Yeah,
the
100%.
refrigerators
Open
first for
the
you?
fridge.
Well, they're
Yeah.
open already. They look like they're decommed. So you go over there. I'll discuss what you see here in a second. And then Vic, since he's going over to check that out, are you checking the bags?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they're here or they're under these?
Basically,
ones?
it's a stack of like if you've ever been to like a hardware store or like a place that has like gardening, you know how they like stack the soil bags or like the fertilizer bags. It's like that with a tarpaulin over top of it.
Can I tell what's in the bags? Or
Not without opening them.
Okay. Can I cut open one of them?
We'll get
Just
to that
like
in a second.
small slit?
So since Dan said he was going over the refrigerators first, you kind of clear the space. The refrigerators appear to be operating. You can kind of hear the dumb hum of them. And when you look inside, it looks like there are a series of what appear to be cardboard packages inside. And when you kind of look at it and pull them out, you recognize them. They are drug containers, like medical grade kind of like drug containers. Inside the hypo carts that you see, they appear to have like differing labels. So these are basically reuses, and you would know that's kind of like dirty. Like you don't want to do that. If you're going to do it, you want it clean. But again, whatever's inside of them is a color you're not familiar with. It is not something you put into your body before. It's kind of like a strange.
I'll put one on my. I'll take a package.
You're gonna like take a package or just keep
No,
it?
I'm gonna put it on my.
Each package has 4 of the carts in them, so you take one.
Okay.
And it looks like there's probably like a dozen more. Okay, Vix, you kind of like pull open the tarpaulin, look at the bag, kind of draw the monowire just a little bit so you can kind of like cleanly cut the tip and kind of pop it open. And inside there's this material that appears to be kind of like dirt, but it also like it's kind of pink and like there's like little flecks of white in it that are kind of like dense and more solid. And I would like for you to go ahead and make me a education roll. Under education.
Education.
Satisfactory. This is the material that you have here appears to be a mix of like soil and what appears to be like organic material, like flesh and bone.
Okay.
And
fertilizer.
That appears to be why it smells in here. Okay.
Interesting.
Alex, you sit across Rem, you stand behind, and Crown, you remain seated. First thing you would notice, Alex, is there is a rocket-propelled grenade, which is a very explosive rocket launcher device, kind of seated on the table in front of you. The guy looks over at you and he says, "Are you the boss?"
Yes, I am.
He presses a button on his watch, and his eyes flare blue. The eyes kind of look at you for a second, and then tilt his head to the side. And you'd recognize that the proxy's kind of actuating, and you say, "Electra Milo Loyola Cheng, Undersecretary of Jefferson Perales, what are you doing in my hovel?"
Well, the mayor's office is concerned about scab activity.
I was just asking to see if you'd be honest or not. I understand your presence here. You're looking for a signal. Your netrunners are very sloppy.
Okay.
So, we have a couple of options here. I would say 3. Option 1 is you leave, take your riffraff with you, and go back to your Jefferson Perales and tell him that there's nothing wrong here. The signal is a fluke, a remnant of the old net. If you want, I can make it a little bit harder for your netrunners to tail it and track it, and you can say it was a job well done. You get a pat on the back, maybe a raise. Who fucking cares? Option 2 is I kill everyone in this place with no concern or care for how long they've lived or how long they thought they might. If you don't think I can do it, I assure you, it will be clean, smooth, deliberate, like everything I do. The work of God is a magnificent thing to see. Option 3 is we can play a game. I'll let you dilly-dally, maneuver about my space, try and figure out the riddles I've left behind. But no one but you and the people you brought here live. Everyone in Hababas besides you dies. All the innocents, all the people I've brought here. I'll let you see them live long enough so that you can see the true horrors of Night City. The things that people like you don't even acknowledge. The true shadows. Which of those options would you like? Gosh, I do hope you go for the third one.
I'd like to pause and then like Google the walkthrough.
You're like, oh shit. You see the 3 options and you're like, what? It's like a
Does anyone have
Right
gameplay on this yet?
it's a read your own
Right.
adventure book.
Their
and
Let's
you
Play.
Like, you like
I'm
read
back to my
ahead,
relationship.
but you hold your finger. Like it's a read your own, choose your own adventure book, and you're like you hold your finger in the same page. And
Right,
You go to
exactly.
the other side, and you're like, oh no, I die in that one.
Will my romantic
Um,
interest like this option?
yeah.
Oh, good
We
question.
gotta keep those wheels nice and good. Gotta keep
Halson disapproves.
always.
Okay, so I blink at Crown. I look over at Rem. I'm paralyzed for a second. I don't know how to respond to this.
So you either walk right now and just that's it. And everybody gets to live just as they were living before you walked in. Everyone here dies, including yourselves. Or you can walk through his strange space here known as Hababas, but everyone that was here before tonight dies.
Crown heard these options too, right?
Option 2 would be everybody dies. Yeah, Crown loves that one, sure.
No. I'm saying he heard these options as well.
Oh, he's
That's what I
speaking
meant.
out loud. Yeah, he's a physical person. Yeah, the phone call is coming from outside of the house, and the man is speaking the phone call. Yeah, basically a proxy is basically whoever is remote controlling this man currently is like effectuated inside the net as if he were this man.
Gotcha. So
He is
Crown-
the snail phone in One Piece.
Correct. He is a snail
Gotcha.
phone in One Piece.
So Crown is gonna stand up and put a hand on her shoulder to try to like realign her to reality.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's just gonna say, "I think we should choose option 1. I'm not particular in killing innocents, but
Oh,
I don't think
3
we should
sounds
be
interesting.
here."
I mean, there's a dark part of me that is like, okay, so maybe we TPK, and then what? But then what is the likelihood that that could happen?
What, you're gonna choose option 2?
I want the option of being Gonzo and just like shooting him in the head and just like
Yeah. Well,
dealing
again,
with the consequences.
based on
But that's
everything
not
you
really
understand,
Call
Alex.
me over here, I'll shoot him in the head.
but based on everything you understand, you'd be shooting an innocent man in the face.
Yeah.
I mean,
Personally, option 3 sounds pretty compelling.
Is everyone a psycho?
I mean, how many innocent people do we have left to kill? That's the question. I think just 2.
We don't know how many. Well, that we know of.
There's a whole ass hallway
There's
you guys haven't been
people
down.
in.
I was
Yeah.
about to say, what it sounds like is he can control all these people at once, and he'll sick them on us like rabid dogs or something.
No. I can
He's
only-
gonna blow the entire place up. There's
I can-
plenty of ammonia and fertilizer and all that shit.
I can only control the people who have proxy cyberware in them. I cannot just control people willy-nilly. Not here, anyways. I mean, talk to me and Dustin. We can do some shit there, but...
Those motherfuckers are proxies.
I mean, I hear all this, right?
yeah... No, you're in the other room.
Yeah, he's in the other room.
Sorry.
Concrete.
So, you pocket the drugs, you kind of look over at Vix, you walk over, you see that she's kind of got a bag of fucked up. It looks like people...
Could be people. Could be
the
animals.
soil and
I don't know,
trees,
probably
people.
people.
That was a really bad joke.
Do animals
Yeah.
still exist in Cyberpunk?
Huh?
Do
No,
animals still exist?
Some places, yeah.
Oh,
not really. In
so
Night
most
City,
likely
though.
people.
Real food is very uncommon.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look like they're using this as a food source. They look like they're using this as a soil source.
Yeah, it's people.
People as fertilizer.
What's down the way to the sewer?
You look down, it looks like it's a pretty long hallway, at the end of which you would see, it looks like it forks. One passage left, one passage right. And like I said, the sewer space, it's weird, right? So it's kind of got like the side troughs and like kind of sidewalks. Excuse me. But the center of the space, it looks like an old road, like an old like side road. Yeah, you're not old enough to recognize, 2020 construction, but yeah, it definitely looks like something like old style, but inside of a fucking tunnel. Have you ever seen Demolition Man?
Yeah.
Mm,
You kind of know
I
what I'm
Googled
talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like an underground city that everybody built shit on top of.
no, I ain't got this.
I can't remember. Did that have Dennis Rodman or Wesley Snipes? I think
Wesley
it was
Snipes.
Wesley Snipes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, versus Sylvester Stallone.
Yes. Okay. Got it.
And then Dennis Leary was in it doing his stand-up routine for no fucking reason. He was there also. Such a weird fucking juxtaposition. It's like, Sylvester went down there and talked to him, and he's like, "Just put the fucking fries in the bag, man." Just
Oh no.
I'm so glad that's a meme that's catched on.
Yeah.
Caught on.
Isn't that a Gen Z thing?
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put the fries in the bag, man.
So, sorry, Gonzo.
Yeah.
You look down that way. Did you want to go down that way or no?
I mean, I'm kind of getting a a good distance away from the party. I mean, it continues
Well,
to go. And
It goes. It goes.
right?
I would say it goes about. I'd say maybe 100 feet down the hallway, and that's where it splits off.
I mean, that would. Yeah, I don't think I should head down there yet.
Okay, you kind of
I'm not
post up,
like
look over
trade,
at
but-
Vix, and like the two of you are kind of like staying in this room. If
Where's
anybody's-
everybody else?
They're in the other room, but you know that they're defended from behind by your crew and lots of people, so they're good.
That's. I mean, I say that to Vix.
And you guys are watching
Yeah,
this
they're-
passageway just in case anybody comes up on you this way, so you're ready to squab up if these motherfuckers.
Yeah,
try to
they're
get
in
you
the other
from
room.
Yeah. So,
Well,
Alex,
Talking to
Wow.
God or some shit.
question's still yours. 1, 2, or 3.
What do you want to do, Rabbits?
Okay. Do I? So we don't have a fucking Netrunner, which would have been great right now.
Yeah.
Artie's not a red.
No.
No,
No,
she's a
no.
med tech.
We only have one true Netrunner amongst all of the crews, and it's Solution.
Yeah.
Mortician is a Netrunner.
That's amazing.
And he made
Okay.
these
No, sorry. Steven built one. Breeze. Breeze is a Netrunner also. So, yeah.
Oh.
Steven
We just
Brew.
haven't
Well,
played
if we
with
all
it yet.
die, we'll all make Netrunners.
Yeah, everybody just it's like the rocker situation when everyone's like, "Oh, we can't get fucking luck after we roll dice." Everybody builds a fucking rocker. We got 5 of them. Jesus. I say something's cool and you need it, and that's what we're going for.
I just
You made
asked
it
what's
seem-
needed.
You were very compelling.
Honestly, you stepping up to Fixer has been a godsend. I love Hatter. Very fun
I'm
character.
not making that mistake again.
Oh my god.
I don't use real people's names and get dirt on them.
Yeah.
So
Or make
True.
phone calls in active crime zones.
Yeah.
So, quick
I'm
note.
going with Solo.
Question is to you, and I just want to make sure you understand the measure of it, Spockley. If you answer 1, you're expected to walk away, and everything that you came in here to check out is just going to remain doing what it's doing, with you having no knowledge of what that is. He says he'll make it harder for your netrunners to scout him out, but that's it. Business goes on as usual. Option 2 is he blows the site. And if you get out or not, that it's no concern of his, but he says that it's going to be lethal enough that you get it. Option 3 is you can walk around and try and figure out what's going on here, but everybody who was here before you arrived is dead.
So he's killing the people who we've already met, like those kinds of people.
So, like, above the table, I feel very uncomfortable making this choice alone.
Yeah, absolutely. So above the table, let's discuss it. Because Alex is going to be the one who makes it, but it doesn't have to be the case for that to be all on Gijo's shoulders.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
So
yeah.
let's go ahead and take the weight off of their shoulders a little bit here.
Yeah.
So, Chandler, what are you thinking?
oh,
This
very
grenade launcher is
honestly,
really rad. And I hope I get to leave with it.
if Hatter was in the situation, he's picking option 3, and that's simply because he just doesn't care if a bunch of innocent people die. Just bluntly,
But-
this isn't his area, this isn't his territory.
Keep in mind,
he
Alex
doesn't
is not
care.
that guy.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. As Hatter, as a person above the board, I 100% pick 1. I like my character. I want him to live, and that seems like the smooth option.
Yeah. Now, we'll go ahead and move to Elizabeth. You did have some commentary regarding 3 as well. I just want to kind of put that on the board as well.
Yeah, so both me and Rem, like me as a player and Rem, we both think it's a compelling idea because it would give the information that we came out here to seek, even though it will ultimately end in deaths. But the information is there for the taking.
Well, I thought you were going to go a different route. I just want to kind of... Because I was...
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was positing a thought on you that you may not have been forming, and it clicked when you were... Because there was, the moment where I kind of got oh, come on, why would Gonzo shoot her? And then you were you said what you said, and, Dan said what he said, and it all clicked in my thought space. I thought you were going with that again. The only person you really had a communication
it's probably gonna, also, give them some sort of out as innocence, because it's clear that there's something really fucked up going on here.
Oh, you don't know the half of it. Okay.
Well,
so that
I mean,
said,
she doesn't either, and she hasn't even gone into the other room.
you're thinking 3, okay? So,
Yeah.
Dan, I'm going to go ahead and put it to you now. And again, looking at the situation, what do you think is the best option? Obviously, 2 sounds like it's a bad idea, but at the same time, it could
To be fair, option 1, who cares if... So we get out, that's great. What if we get out and then we come back with more resources, or we get out and we come back with a netrunner? I mean, we can choose option 1.
Yeah.
This isn't going anywhere.
100%.
Right? So choosing option 1 doesn't mean that we're not going to fuck this place up.
Correct.
Option 2, I mean, you can call their bluff. I don't think I can shoot enough of them fast enough.
It's definitely not going to go down like that.
Because they're going to... Yeah, they're gonna blow it up. He's gonna have his drones do whatever you want.
I think he
whatever.
just has
RPG. Who knows?
Underneath.
It's a bit more desperate
Probably.
than that. Okay, but again, so 1 is.
But option 3 is you're playing his game.
Yes.
So you could choose option 1 and not play his game and
Which
find
will
another
make
means
a
to.
great brain dance, though.
Okay.
Option 1 doesn't mean that you're necessarily leaving this undone.
Jonah, I'm not putting you last because I hate you. Just ladies first on this. So Magpie, what are you thinking?
Vix would probably go option 1 if she was asked.
Okay. And then what about
Um,
Magpie above table? What are you thinking?
I would also. Well, I'm a bleeding heart, so like I don't want innocent people to die. So like obviously 1 for me.
Oh, right now
Vix
it's
cares
like
a
kind
little
of 2
less.
and 2.
Okay.
Vix cares a little less about the innocence.
For sure.
Yeah.
Understandable.
Oh,
Okay. And then
Jonah.
Jonah, you already said in character. You're the only one who's had an option to say that due to proximity. But then on that too, like, what does Jonah think? Like the player. Obviously, I'm thinking you're thinking too, right? Because like you're crazy,
No.
and I love you
No.
for that.
Damn, that's
Nobody
tough.
else said two. I'm two.
I know I'm the tiebreaker, and I have to choose between 1 or 3. If I make 2, then that's not gonna matter. But I've been
Well-
thinking about like the weight of either 1 or 3.
I would
3
say I would say you're not much of a tiebreaker here. What it's looking like is there's like in character reasons for 3. The only person who's
Yeah.
kind of nominated 3 above table as a player is Elizabeth. It seems like Chandler, Caitlin, and Dan were kind of option 1. Dan is very much of the idea that we can come back to this place with the proper
Yeah.
kit.
That's
and
Dan.
handle.
Gonzo would say 3.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
again, we're talking above
Just
table right
saying.
now. This is basically
Yeah.
player to player.
Yeah.
We're kind of discussing the measure, and also try and think of it like perspectively, like as a player, but not only just as a player, but as a person, right? Because
Yeah.
I would say of the crew, and I'd say this is kind of like a nod to Shisho, by the way. Alex is probably the most person-coded character that we have present, right? Like they're the only like actual
I'm bike-coded.
normal person. Like they are a
Yeah.
human motherfucking being. We have a lot of other things going on here, but Alex is very much going to think of this in a empathetic and kind of rational mentality.
I
Alex
have
still got
a
empathy.
counter to that.
Huh?
I have a
Alex-
counter to that,
Go for it.
which is like from a story perspective, it is compelling for Alex to make a massively cruel choice.
And I
Right.
think that at this point, since you have put forward a notion, I'm going to go ahead and remove everyone else from the table for a second,
Yeah,
figuratively.
I think that's it.
You're going for 3.
Yeah.
Okay. You hear a from the proxy, and the voice says, "Good, great. Enjoy the scenery. I assure you, not much will come to harm you. I don't suggest going right down any long corridors. Won't be good for your health. But other than that, have a great time." And then you hear his voice and then this man's voice at the same time scream out in agony. The voice that he had inside of it sounds metallic and screeching, and you start seeing red lines appear on his face, burning out from his flesh, and this kind of black, red, pinkish glow kind of flaring from his eyes and from his body as his chest starts expanding with heat and bright redness, and the man known as Padraig to you burns in front of you. And I would like for I believe, who was at the Biotechnica shootout with Ares? Was anybody here there or no? I don't think anybody here was. Let me double check my notes.
No.
Wait, was that the one with the tower?
No.
The like
Well-
out in the desert?
No. Let me
Oh.
check.
The one at the not the one at the bowling alley. The one
You
after
were
the bowling
definitely
alley?
not there.
Oh, okay.
Always watching. Cam, Colombo, Siege,
Yeah.
Low Key, Morrigan, Encrypted. Yeah, none of you were there.
Oh, that one.
Okay, so
I remember that.
I guess does anybody have any points or ranks in Cybertech?
I
think
think
so.
so.
I
might.
believe I do.
What
If
is
you
that
do,
number?
you can roll it.
Technique. I have level 2.
Roll it.
What's Cybertech under?
Cybertech's under tech.
Well, damn,
Oh,
alright.
no.
Okay,
Alright,
Hatter.
Chandler.
Okay, when that happened, when Padraig gets burned, you realize that is black wall shit. Someone just basically forced a black wall quick hack onto Padraig very quickly, mind you, like a lot quicker than it should have had any right to. And the shit that just came through that person is like old net, rabbits, crazy fucking daemons of the old net, like Super Saiyan crazy death machines of the past. And yeah, that is stuff you do not want in your Chrome.
Were we close enough to hear the screaming?
Oh
'Cause
no,
we were
everyone
kinda
in this
in the-
entire block was close enough to hear the screaming. Yeah.
Okay, Vix would kind of like jump back over this pile and like poke her head through and be like, "Hey, whoa!"
When you come around the corner, you would notice that the girl in the corner is no longer shaking in agony. She appears to just be kind of stationary, not moving.
Just probably dead.
Can I take his rocket launcher?
Do you kind of like reach down and grab her shoulder?
Yeah, she'll go over and kind of like
When you grab her and
I
pull
don't
her
know. I
astride,
wouldn't.
you can see her kind of in the last moments of her life, like breathing, and it looks like blood is kind of just jutting out of her mouth. It looks like she bit her tongue in half.
Jesus.
Girl, what?
Damn.
I would explain it because I would have like peeked my head down. I would say what just happened to the man and look over and say probably not much better for her.
What the fuck? Did you piss God off? What happened?
Yeah.
I'm glad you guys are sticking to the handle. I'm sure he would be absolutely delighted, by the way.
I think I
Well,
just.
if he's watching,
He's always watching.
then he.
I think
then
I
he
just
can-
killed her. I just killed them.
Honestly,
What do
it's
you?
probably for the better with the state that they've all been in that I've seen.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick up his rocket launcher.
Yeah, you have an
I'm gonna
RPG.
start walking. I'm gonna start just walking down this way.
Okay.
He. So I'm.
They got like people soil in here. By the way, I don't know if that's relevant.
Okay. Okay, yes, you're right, Rem. They they were in a bad situation. They're free now. Right? Rem?
Yeah, they're dead. I mean, the girl remember the girl upstairs was pretty desperate to.
All right,
That's
whatever.
like
Can
Gonzo.
we figure this out? Like, the big guy's alone down here.
Okay. So Gonzo, you kind of like, eyeing the situation, you hear the scream, you kind of see them come around the corner, and the hallway looks pretty tempting. Do you want to be the first one down it?
I mean, not necessarily.
100%.
I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Nobody should.
They're both gone. I don't know. Alex said she did it. Maybe she's more badass than we thought.
When Hatter kind of comes to the group and is kind of talking to everybody, Gonzo, you'd be the first to notice that he's having a hard time carrying that grenade launcher.
Do you want me to hold that for you?
No.
Well, you're not helping anybody by lugging it around like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen me fight. It's not worth me having my hands not full anyways.
Give it to the Marui.
Mallory.
That one.
He's already got an RPG. Like,
Oh, you came down with the grenade launcher?
Yeah.
it was like on strap to me. So if you wanted to trade, I would trade you happily.
I would say he's
Yeah.
probably moving at a -2 right now, just
I'll
carrying
trade you.
it.
I'll trade you. I'll give you the 2 rocket launchers that I got for that big beef.
Oh, the other rocket
I
launcher's
will-
still in the van. You didn't say you were bringing it in.
Oh,
You
I
mean-
give
yeah,
you the
we-
rocket launcher I found for that big beauty.
That's not
I would
worth
look
it.
at you. I would look at you and say, "This comes back to me, or you lose your legs."
Yeah,
And I
alright.
would hand it to him.
Yeah, it's
with
a
the
5.
2 clips.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Professionally loads the first one, and yeah, this is it's a grenade. It functions just like a grenade launcher, except has a rate of fire of 2.
All right. Can you, just in case, can you add that to
I
my
sure can.
character sheet? All right.
You get it. for now.
Now with the grenade
First,
launcher and
yeah.
all the cool fit, like you got heavy armor. Crown is definitely a wall to kind of like deal with. Do you want him to press through the hallway? Again, we're going to be kind of moving a little bit faster since I need to kind of run you through the Hall of Horrors since that's the option you chose. Obviously, I'm really impressed in the role playing up until this point. By the way, I want to make sure that that is very clear. Even though it might not have sounded like it at certain points. Again, kind of just vibing out with the crew. But I want to make sure that you guys kind of get to the meat and potatoes here. And
The
you guys have been
meat.
doing stellar though.
Also, Hatter goes right
Word.
back up the stairs.
You're not
Right
going
back
in.
up the stairs.
You're
I'm
not
not.
going in.
I'm not dumb.
Okay.
No, there's no reason for me to. I can't fight. He's taking grenade launcher down the hallway. I'll collect the chrome if I need to.
Yeah, you didn't get paid. You paid people. You're
So
here as kind of a
he-
luxury, so that makes sense.
G said not to go down the right one, right?
He
They
said
both
stay
go down the
away
same
from
way.
right side.
Oh, okay. All right.
At the end of the hallway, there are two passageways that seem to clear out from that. As you're like leading up, it's pretty dark in here, so you kind of flick on a flashlight with your phone, and it's kind of like giving a bit of like ambiance here. Very aliens, very kind of like just like dense, quiet. Feels very, it feels very tense. There's a path that leads to the left. There's a path that leads to the right. That, you presume, is the path that G was talking about. But then you would notice, once you get closer, there's actually a large metal door settled in between the passageway. So basically, your passageway terminates with a metal door. Person-sized door. It's not like a huge metal door, but it's like a, it's more like a bulkhead door than like a typical metal framing door.
All right. We'll try to open it.
Okay.
Like
Yeah,
normally?
it's basically like it's almost like a boat door. It's got like the
Oh yeah,
wheel.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And the valve. I don't know. You turn it, you
That's
hear
right.
it kind of release, and then it pops open. And I am going to move you onto a map.
Uh-oh.
Did you move?
No.
Okay, I see what happened.
We can see it all though.
There we go. Yeah,
Okay.
that's intentional.
Okay.
All right.
So, Crown, you're the first one in.
Yeah.
You would see what looks like a bedroom. The bed in question looks like it is like an old style hospital bed.
Mm-hmm.
The back wall appears to have a window set to it, but you can tell that the light that's coming through it is false, kind of like grow lights.
Gotcha.
There appear to be a series of crates on the right side that have food packaging labels on them, like all foods, primarily.
Mm.
And then on the far left side, like across from the bed, there's a laptop seated on like a kind of rusty looking, kind of weird standing desk. The bed looks like it has a tarpaulin over it. And the more and more you kind of like look at it, the more and more you think there might be something under that plastic blanket.
Yep. I will first. I'm gonna look down this hallway, make sure not. Or no, that's not a hallway. Sorry, that's a table full of blood and guts. He's gonna go check out the tarpaulin, see what's under it.
You hear kind of heavy breathing, and then as you kind of step closer and your boots kind of like wetly kind of step off of the ground, the liquid on the ground you realize is a combination of water, condensation, there's like black mold all over the place. And you would also note too that there appears to be like blood, kind of other fluids that would come from malnutrition, and the like. The smell in here is horrendous. Those of you who are outside, you see Crown go in. Again, grenade launcher off to the side, pistol out, knife up, right? Who else is stepping in?
I will.
Okay. Gonzo as well? Or are you staying back?
I'd make my way in, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, would people have explained to me what happened and what situation we're in currently? Because all I
That's up
know
to
is
you guys.
If
Alex?
you walk with Crown, he'll let you know during
Okay, cool.
like the walk. Yeah, like he'll say, I think the G fella you're looking for is well, he was here, but he killed everyone.
And then as you say that, you're kind of walking in, and then like kind of that tense moment happens, and you kind of both
And
go silent.
the girl said God sees all. What did she say?
Yeah, so God watches over all. And Gonzo, you're kind of walking with him, and you kind of go silent about there. Again, he says everyone's dead, and then sees the motion underneath, hears the kind of whimpering and kind of like panic breathing. And again, he's wearing very heavy boots, flak armor, and he kind of steps over to the tarpaulin, and it kind of almost sounds like crying voice. It sounds a bit masculine, but you aren't for certain what's underneath it. It doesn't look like it's person-sized.
Yeah.
Do you pull the tarpaulin back?
Part of a person.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull the tarp.
You see.
Not like all the way off, but like at least to see a face or something.
You pull it back enough to see what
Yeah.
appears to be a human at a very horrific state of malnutrition. And it looks like their limbs have been severed and replaced with metal caps.
Oh.
They look up at you, and you can see that the back of their head has also been replaced with metal, what appears to be a very, very, very powerful Neuroport and Cyberdeck. And when they look up at you, you can see that their eyes are just glazed over white, and they kind of say, "Please, not again, please. Please don't make me dive. Please don't make me dive. Please don't make me dive." Over and over again. Please don't make me dive. Please don't make me dive.
What the fuck?
Crown
Vix,
is going.
sorry.
Oh, sorry.
As you're about to do something, Vix, as you're approaching from behind, and Gonzo, obviously you're kind of focused in on this situation, I would presume. Is that fair to say, Dan?
Yeah.
Vix, you kind of are walking up and kind of like hearing that, and are kind of about to say, "What the fuck?" And then you say it, and then when you say it, you kind of look over to the left at that computer, the laptop,
Yeah.
and the screen's glowing green, and you can see kind of code kind of moving around on it, and you can see the letter G occasionally appearing on it. You'd also see that there's a red light on the top of the display screen, which everybody knows means that the webcam is on. Seems to be pointed right at the bed.
What?
The fuck, I believe is what you said.
Yeah.
Well, that still stands. For sure, that
Still
makes sense.
stands. But also, what would my knowledge be of if I shoot the camera or
You're
the
pretty sure
laptop?
that if you shoot the computer with a cybertech of non-existent, that the computer won't exist anymore. That is a pretty sound mentality for a solo. If you want to take that action, you're free to do so.
I mean, that's kind of her mentality, because like he's just like freaked out, and the
Go for
computer
it.
is the problem. So,
Take a shot. Bang bang handgun.
all right.
Bang, bang.
Yeah, you hit it. You shoot the this monitor off. Like there's like a nice bullet hole kind of at the top section,
Yeah.
and you kind of just see it kind of break. There's like a fizzle of sparks. Strangely, there's still a green light coming from the screen, but like it's just green light. It's no longer like the code and everything.
Yeah.
Crown, you were doing?
He's gonna take the initiative and put the kid out of his misery.
Pause for a second.
Thank you.
Gonzo, as you're kind of seeing that, you look over to the right, and you're kind of standing on top of a cord. You can see it kind of going across the floor. It
Yeah.
seems to be plugged into a kind of glowing orange light. And you first think, like walking into the situation, that this is like a power cable. But the Valentinos have their own net runners. You're not unfamiliar with what they do, and you would actually realize that the cable is plugged into a temporary port and is actually a dive cable. So if you were to plug that into somebody, they would be effectively diving into the net. So it seems that this person in the bed was raw diving here
Oh my
in this
God.
space. For those who don't understand what that means, if you dive into the net, you're typically supposed to keep your body very cooled, because while you're
Yeah.
in the net, you overheat. They typically will either
So he
put you
probably
in
lost his limbs to overheating.
correct atrophy combined with hyperthermia.
Mhm.
Do you still take him and put him out of his misery, or do you plug him in?
I'm going to take him out of his misery with the karambit.
You
You're a
kind
better man than me.
you kind of say shh, grab the side of his head, kind of lift him up, place the karambit against his neck. The cool blade, you see him kind of like a person getting a knife to their neck is usually a sign of like react poorly, no bad, but like the coolness of the blade against his neck is actually like it's almost like there's a bit of like pleasure to it, right? And then you pull the blade and draw it across, and the soft gurgle, it's not anything that you as a solo who has slit many a throat has ever seen. It's almost as if like that was a release.
Peaceful.
And not
Yeah.
like a, oh my god, my neck just got slit. Even though you're pretty sure he
Yeah.
didn't see it coming. Blind puns, unfortunate. I'm sorry for the ableism. But yeah.
Once everything calms down, he's just gonna sort of close his eyes and say, "Sorry, you had to deal with that kid."
and
And
put
then-
the tarpaulin back over him.
Yeah.
Alex, Hatter. Hatter's not there. He's upstairs. On Hollow, presumably. But just.
Yeah.
direct.
Well, I think Rem would hook him in.
Yeah, you can see video through REM if you want. But
Can I just do audio?
Just
After seeing that shit, I'm good.
Yeah, just.
I just want to point out with that like a huge role for the cybertech thing and everything, I would not want to be in like I barely want to be in this building, let alone dealing with this.
That's a rational
and
mentality.
connected at
Um,
the same time.
If you folks want to back out of this space, or if there's anything in this space you want to search, actually, real quick, is there anything else that you want to kind of like gander here? There's the boxes; they've got nothing in them. There's the broken laptop; the hard drive might be functional. Do you want to take it?
Plug
Yeah,
yourself
we'll
in.
take.
I mean, I would have wanted to move into the room
Okay.
and look around.
Sorry,
also.
go ahead. I apologize.
All right.
Oh, okay.
What
So
would you-
I think Rem and I would move in together.
yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, so I'm definitely interested in anything, any data stick, core, whatever that we can get, even from the deceased, and definitely the hard drive.
Okay.
All right. I'll go grab the laptop so you don't have to walk in the piss
So,
water.
Vix goes and grabs
Thank
the laptop. You say to Crown, check to see if he had anything installed, and you kind of go, Crown. You kind of shake your head. Not that you don't know that you have to actually pull the tarp back and look over this kid again. Sad sight to see. But you pull back the tarpaulin, you look at him, and in his sockets on the side of his neck, you can see that there is one empty slot and one slot with a shard in it. Do you want to
Okay.
pull the shard?
Yeah, I'll pull the shard.
Okay. You pull the shard out, and I need you to make an evasion roll. Based on your positioning, Gonzo, you're just outside the explosion radius.
All right.
Do you have a reflex of 8 or higher?
But here or here.
You're good. You're good.
I'm good. Okay.
Yeah.
So I have 8, but there's a blue
That's fine.
6.
Reflex just needs to be 8. That's fine. Roll up.
Okay. Evasion.
Evasion. Okay.
8.
So you kind of pull it, and as you pull it, you can see like an orange glow, and you realize that it is kind of hard tethered to something inside of the kid, and you realize that that's a trigger. So you immediately press your boot down against the ground, and then push back, and then jump backwards. The child, or not the child, he's not a kid. He's in his 20s, but he blows up, which is an absolute massive explosion. And Crown, you fly backwards, and Gonzo's kind of like, caught unawares, but his hand kind of reaches out to the side and catches your back and kind of causes you from falling on your ass. So you kind of like fly backwards, and Gonzo kind of like, bro catches you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
the bed, the window, everything kind of like on that back wall is just in ruin, including the data port, this position here.
Damn. Did I get the chip then?
There was no chip to get. That was totally a... that
Oh,
was
it was a
totally a...
Booby
Oh,
trap.
Got you.
All
Damn.
that was a thing to make...
Just
the
want to
kid
point
explode.
out, we're dealing with someone who calls himself God and exploded a man in front of us wirelessly, and
That's
you're going
fair.
to start pulling on the electronics.
I mean, he
That's
didn't
fair.
really explode. He just burned
Melted.
alive from the inside.
Yeah.
He immolated.
He just
It's-
internally
there's a
cooked.
difference.
He got so hot, he burned pink.
I don't like
Just
that.
want to make sure that is
Yeah.
very
Here you go.
That's how I like
Sorry, I shot out the camera. It
Monitor's fucked. The hard drive should be taggable,
Yeah.
though. Okay, if you step outside, again, just looking at the time, trying to kind of bully us through, you would move not to the right, which is now to the left because you're coming at it from a different direction. If you kind of take a peek out that way, Crown and Gonzo, and Vix, since you guys are the more mentally or military-minded, you would see that it's a long corridor, and there is a shit ton of what appears to be explosive fuel cells, like Chew-2 for like tank usage and like military usage, all with Militech logos, the old style ones with the triangle that I mentioned is also upstairs. And then on the far back wall, there is a proximity turret, massive proximity turret, that seems to be loaded with a 25mm autocannon. So your presumption is if you had chosen option 2, he probably would have taken control of that device, pointed it down at the fuel cells, and just pulled the trigger. From this distance, you're pretty sure that if you enter into the hallway, his promise of what would happen is that thing would start shooting, and just due to the massive amount of explosive material in there, it would just be a matter of time before this whole place went up in a cloud of smoke.
Yippee!
Going the opposite
That's
direction.
Fair.
You would see that you are now in a hallway that has tracks on the base, like on the floor in front of you. There appears to be another set of passages and a massive security door on the far back wall. The security door is not currently up, it is down, it is locked. If you move kind of quickly to the terminus, there's no traps, I swear. There appears to be a ventilation shaft that is on the like the south side, but it looks like there is an access point to it for the tracks. It looks like there is a single cart on the left side. It looks like these carts are used to move just like material. You place a couple of crates on top of the bed there, and it kind of slides, turns, moves away from here to there, right? To the left of that sled, there's a door that is open. The door is very similar to the door that led into the cell, and then directly behind the tray sled bed, there is an open space that leads to what looks like what you would presume is kind of like a ladder fixture, kind of like an area that would allow you to descend. With that being said, door on the left, ladder, try to fuck with the door, try to fuck with the ventilation. What are we doing? Sorry to move us about through this so quickly. Just gotta make sure we end on time.
Brown's
You wanna
gonna check
muscle the
door
door?
on the left.
Muscling the door is impossible. Do you have electronic security?
Fuck.
That's not me. I hate that guy. Okay, so if somebody has that, we can try and fuck with that. But as you're kind of like looking at it, you realize like the door probably weighs a solid ton. It's a situation where it's like, yeah, this definitely needs to. It's like a bulkhead or a blast door. Crown, you kind of maneuver towards the door. Do you enter in?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on a second. Oh gosh, hold on. Add handout. Please, please, please tell me I loaded it. Please, please, please. Not this close to the end? Come on. Don't drop the ball, John. You're doing great.
Come on, John.
John,
believe in
John.
Rub the soupy belly for good luck.
Belly
Yes.
is currently not displayed, but when you enter into the space, you can see where you're entering from.
Okay.
The light above you is kind of bright, and it looks like all these computers are active, kind of flashing, pinging, pulsing. You can see that there seems to be activity on one of them as like login passwords are put in, and kind of activity is happening on them. It looks like someone is operating these remotely, and when you look at the computers, being kind of an old style Solo, you would recognize that these are military grade Militech computer terminals that are being kind of shown to you here. And kind of looking around the space, like you can see the old style kind of the spinning kind of discs there. That's an old style hard drive or kind of storage container, data storage space. And there's a post-it note on it.
I'm gonna take pictures of the bulletin board with my agent, and then
Okay.
continuously take pictures of everything while I head to that sticky note.
Yep. The sticky note is the thing that kind of stands out as awkward. The bulletin board looks like it's old documents that were kind of left here from whenever this place was actually a functioning facility. But the post-it note looks fresh. And when you look at it, it says, "Make sure Mortician gets this." And then when you lift the post-it note, underneath, inside of the glass container, on the shelf in there, you can see an old style data disk. Not a data shard, like a data disk
It's like a floppy disk
from back in the 20s. It's not like a floppy disk. Come on now.
No, I'm saying like it's
Like
as if we
what
found a
today
floppy
is.
disk now.
For sure. That's 100% correct. Yes, it would be just like that because that's about the same time frame. Yeah.
I'm gonna take it.
Okay.
Because I don't know who Mortician is.
CDs?
Sorry, go ahead.
And Mortician.
Well,
Are
it is-
there save files? An image of CDs
So you pull the disc.
instead of a floppy disk.
The terminals are still kind of doing what they're doing. And once you pull the disc off of the thing, you don't see any way for it to be connected or anything, but all of the computers power down.
Okay.
You see like the logouts, like the logout windows from old kind of DOS style computers, and all of that shit just dies. Everything is now dead.
Gotcha. Even the ones right here behind me.
Yeah, again, it looks like they're still on, but all the computers are off now.
Okay. All right. Does there look like there could be a button for that bunker door or blast door?
No, not in here.
Okay. So I got what I needed. All the computers are down. I'm going to, when I find Alex again, I'm going to hand her the sticky note and the floppy disk.
Okay. And Rem, you're kind of still standing close to Alex, right?
Yep.
Okay. So you hand over the note, and Hatter, you're not watching, so you don't see that it says anything about Mortician.
Audio only. Oh, just
Audio only. Do you wish to descend down the ladder? Or does anybody... What is Hatter doing there?
I don't know. I just keep appearing.
Again, I'd like for you to be able to follow along visually if you're not watching the
I'm
stream.
just over here thinking about how I can Borg myself out to use the rocket launcher.
Grenade launcher.
Yeah.
But also, yes. Do you wish to descend down the ladder, or have you seen enough?
I'll go down the ladder.
Okay. Good place to
You
end
just
it
want
on.
to die. Like, I don't know how else to put that.
No, you're good. So, everybody sees the map? It's probably like the
Yep.
whole map.
Ah,
Nothing but the map, so help me map.
map.
On the map.
So what you would see
Glad you got
when you
it.
come down here, and it's kind of a situation where you can see the whole map, but I want to make sure it's very clear. You come down the ladder, and you are entering into what appears to be a bar. The bar looks like
Okay.
it's functional. It looks like it's been functioning for a while. The TV is on, looks like it's playing N54 in the background, and at the bar there is a security robot standing there, but it looks like its hands have been replaced with cyber hands that look like they're more in line with kind of like finesse work, right? And it's
Mhm.
currently cleaning a glass. You would then see what look like other patrons in this space, but they're all like laying their heads on the table, or they're all like laying back with this like absolutely void look on their face. The robot would
Is
look
it
over to
similar?
you and say, "End of the line. If you wish to exit into the sewers of Night City, you're welcome to do so. If not, gestures towards the stool in front of him. Have a drink. Welcome to Hababas.
So all the individuals that were like have their heads down. Is it similar to that lady and
They all look dead.
They all look dead. Okay, just making sure. Your boy is gonna go towards the sewer exit.
It's actually a door that looks like it was
Door.
the front door to the space. And right next to the side of the door, there is a window that looks like it has been boarded up with the same sheet of plywood for the last 60 years. The door leads out to what looks like an open street, but there
That's
are
good
massive
work.
metal pieces that are jutted into the ground, like right through the concrete, that look like they are holding up a very massive metal plate above you.
Mm.
Looking around the space, you kind of go into the back room. You see that there was an office back there. There's a guy who looks like he has a really nice suit. He's also dead. There's a guy who looks like he's a security corporate guy who's got a Kang Tao Dian, really nice smart gun, which you realize is probably corrupted, so probably smart enough to fuck with that. Just hanging out. You kind of back away from all that shit. And again, the kitchen looks like it's been used, like it recently. Like it looks like this space is a fully functioning bar, or was a fully functioning bar until you all killed everybody. The people in the back, they look like they have scav gear on. They look like they were scabs. And when you're looking at them, what you realize is they don't seem to have died like the first couple guys you saw. It looks like they all got shot in the head, like right in the forehead. Perfect dead-ass shot.
Yeah, I'm assuming it was the robot.
Yep.
Puppet.
But it looks like
the robot.
the robot. Well, no, the robot doesn't have any guns.
So they possibly like puppet.
Yeah, maybe
each
puppeted the
other?
guy with the smart gun who shot them all.
Yeah.
But the front door leads out onto this weird street-like sewer structure, and the back door leads to a small alleyway that is very similar. And it looks like this space, this bar, is settled on what appears to be kind of like an underground highway of old streets beneath Night City University. And yeah, if everybody else comes down here, you would realize that this is the end of the line. This is Hababas. And for whatever reason, the security drone, the bartender, has been left present. He says what he says exactly, but I don't remember what I said precisely, to everyone who enters in. And if you ask him any questions, he answers in the most generic, bartendery way possible.
Is there any computers or anything that I could find, like the distribution or trade of cyberware, or any kind of ledgers? Or I'm looking for something that shows trade. Or...
The only thing that would have been close to that was immediately terminated when Crown pulled that disc and handed it over. Yeah, the laptop might have something on it, so you kind of want to stay close to that. It sounds like Alex has all of the data, or data, depending on how you pronounce it. So it's definitely something you'll want to kind of say, like, hey, I kind of want to know. You understand how fucked up this thing is. Like, they're fucking with us, right? Again, I'm only kind of maneuvering through it pacing-wise because we're at 10. There is one thing I kind of want to close up with because it's a question I have to put forward. Rem, you saw it. Gonzo, you would have seen it. Obviously, Crown, you saw it. You pulled it off the wall. And Alex, you saw it because Crown gave it to you.
So I did see the post-it note.
Yeah, for sure.
She would have audibly been like, I think I know Mortician. I've heard that name before.
So you say that out loud. Hatter, you hear that.
Yeah, a bit more tense.
Are you playing it cool?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've dealt with crazy people before. It's fine.
Okay. So, then if nobody kind of directly mentions to Hatter, like what the post-it note was kind of attached to and such, the data will be Alex, yours to kind of disseminate. I'm assuming you're going to share with Gonzo just based on, like, you know, what he's told you regarding what's happening with the people in the Glen. Is that fair to assume, or are you going to hold it to yourself? Do you want it first and you can make the decision after?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I think I would want to share with him, but I want to process it first
Understood.
myself.
Absolutely. That's a very government mentality. Okay. And then, obviously, Rem, Vix, and Crown all got paid to be here. So did Hatter for assembling the crew. So your concerns are kind of void on, or, you don't really give a shit about all that. You'd probably mention the G situation and kind of what happened, Vix, to your roommates. Is that fair to assume? Okay.
Yeah.
So Amelia would be aware. And then Rem, I don't think there's anybody you're directly connected to who you'd be mentioning to other than Cryptid.
Yeah, no. Yeah, Cryptid, maybe.
Okay. So again, I don't think that Alice is going to disseminate the information to the hirelings. It'll definitely just be like the gang leader and probably not the fixer either, right? Fair to assume?
Hatter?
Hatter, are you going to share the information with Hatter?
Does Hatter ask for it? I mean, Hatter seems to not want anything to do with this.
Yeah, he hired the people, he did his job. I mean, he was
Yeah.
on site.
So I mean, if Hatter is like, hey, what data did you collect? Let me in on this. Alex would, but otherwise, no.
He does
Nope.
not. Okay.
Okay.
He says, I get to keep this grenade launcher.
Yeah, as he's coming back through, I'm taking that from him.
No, please. No, leave it. Leave it. No.
You don't have enough money for this.
Shayla!
Okay.
My
Fun fact,
Shayla.
Well, that's what we'll call it.
Shayla.
I'll award IP
My
after the
Shayla.
fact. And thanks for watching those that did. We will see you next time.
My Shayla.